the entire game, he would be on my computer, on me,
Oh,
being so jealous. It's a cat thing. As soon as you pay attention to the computer, they're like, but me.
wait,
Oh,
before we
that's
start, can I show you this chicken character commission I was given?
Yes.
yes.
Look, it's a chicken!
Oh, what? That's so cool!
Ooh.
That's so cool.
I think she actually
But
turned
how
out
you
kind
made her
of cute.
pretty?
I somehow find a way.
You found a way, yeah?
I find a way.
That's awesome.
Anyway, hello!
Hi.
We play D&D.
We do.
If you couldn't already tell, and we're doing that right now. Before we start, we're using Syrinscape. It's great, and I recommend it to any DM. We're using music also from Travis Savoy on YouTube and Epic Journey. So please check them out if you're interested. All right. So for recap, we have Anna. Would you please take it away?
Take it away, Anna.
Right. I'll try. Okay. So session 120 was the last session. Very important. We don't remember the path back to that frost giant. And we only have sort of vague flashes of what's going on in our minds after we drank this cool water that really changed us. We knew that we determined that the next day is our audience with Titania, thanks to Zarina. A bunch of us go to the library. Neff tries to improve her massage, and I think it was a mixed success, maybe.
I'd say that's accurate.
Yeah. Slia promises that they'll practice the language with each other because, getting better together and actually practicing rather than being like, oh, here's a vocab list, because that doesn't help you learn the language. On its own. Okay. Neff does some stuff about business cards. Yes, and we determined that the death colors of the Messiah, that's like a slate gray, and the Feywild, it's chlorophyll. Okay, yes. Then Cass does a bunch of research on the Shadowfell. It is a plane that is kind of very opposite to the Feywild, kind of like a purgatory, so between life and death, for mortal beings. It's difficult to access unless calls to there. And this plane is very tricky to navigate, and you kind of have to navigate it as if it'll kind of mimic the material plane, I think. And well, you can only kind of navigate places that you're familiar with that kind of appear there. There are blah blah blah. I think there's a lot of undead and trapped souls. It's very good. Yes. And we did also discover shadow versions could be of people. So people get there either by dying before their sense of fate, their fate has kind of been accomplished, or because of a great kind of act of evil or betrayal. So someone like Karul, who's committed many, many big evils, well, probably there. It'd be surprising if he wasn't. So that's tough. And then someone like Osha might possibly also be there. If we meet... Oh, and also, apparently, anyone who, has experienced a shitty thing, unfortunately, could have a shadow self trapped in there.
Whoopsie, guess that's all of us.
Yeah,
Oh no.
As Emma listed off, childhood neglect, member of the family dying, you know, all sorts of stuff. I'm sure getting thrown
But then
off
we
a
find out Neff
ship.
is her shadow self and has nothing in the Shadowfell.
Oh, like that episode of The Simpsons. No.
You are the evil twin.
Oh gosh.
That
Yeah,
happens.
so that's all
It's in
fun.
the lore. Just saying.
We discover it in the recap for session 121. Also, magics are very much influenced. Only one kind of deity kind of resides there. That's Raven Queen, and you know, if you die, then and your soul passes through, then you kind of got to go through her, kind of sort you out where you go. But other gods, other deities, I don't think their influence is it's not really there. So if you're a cleric or if you derive your magic from your deity, like Bluey, he's like, oh yes, Asalios granted me these powers. Then that stuff will not replenish if you rest in the Shadowfell. You can still use it, but you know, if you can only use a spell once, you can't use it the next day unless you get out of there. Very good. Another magic thing. Light magic does not work as well. It is, if you don't have dark vision, it's probably going to be hard to see. Necromancy spells, though, very good. So is illusion magic. Very cool. Yes. What? I think just the sense that death here on the material plane can mean a rebirth there. So yeah, soul splitting in two. All right. Shadow entities can be killed, but I mean, if we come across one that's, you know, like us or something, then maybe it's best to just try and stay away. Stay away. Oh, yes, dread domains. They're a thing. So that's okay. Yes, acts of evil leave stones, which entities can feed off. Shadow beings. So those entities being shadow beings that transcend the planes. I think the area is kind of folded into a demi-plane for an entity to feed off of with the powerful individual within it, and that's Dread Domain. And
Interestingly, it's a lot like the Fold in Shadow and Bone, now that I think about it. Think of it like that, except maybe you can't see it all the time. Maybe we can't see them.
Huh. Wow. Not that I know anything from the first 4.5 episodes.
Don't spoil anything.
Anyway, okay.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Like, imagine if you just couldn't see and you just walked into it, and then you're there. Isn't that fun? Isn't that all fine and dandy?
Yes, we have to watch out for those as well. Anything else about... Okay. There is possibly a trapped dragon friend of Sorellarus's, who's in their own demi-plane. Sorellarus knows for a fact that their soul does not reside on the material plane, or I think at least other easy to look into or know about planes. You know, even if their body is here somewhere. And sort of the conundrum that, like, getting the shadow self to move on would definitely leave Sorellarus lonely on this plane. It's like, oh, fuck, that's sad. Hello. Hello, sadness. Okay. Yes, there are legends that there are legends in general that dragons exist in that space. And before long, they'll turn into shadow dragons. Forced to reside there, losing themselves. So, I can't remember if if you stay in there long enough, you become shadow stuff yourself. Is that right? Or did we not learn that?
The longer
No
you stay
comment?
the longer you stay, definitely the harder it is to leave, and you are changed.
Okay.
But you do know that's a period of decades you're looking at.
Decades.
Even
Bluey
though
does not
time
have
does
that long.
no.
No, I'm kidding. Well, she has some decades.
I'm just
She doesn't have an abundance of decades comparatively to the other. Anyway, sorry. Okay. The conditions of leaving must be met by the Dreadlord. So if Dreadlord is Dreadlord Karul, that'll be hard for him to meet his conditions and let us leave. Anyway. There are a bunch of people there called the Vistani people. They tend to take in lost and wandering people in there. It's like, okay, cool. So it's not all like shit. There are group sandwiches made, and the rule comes up with a plan to travel across planes, making duplicates of. Did I say Karul or Loran? I did say Loran, right? Loran is making copies.
duplicates of Coral.
Maybe small copies, so that
Little
we'll
baby
carry
copies.
on. Little baby Karul bodies. So that when we come to Titania, he can be mulched. And so, yeah, OG Soul can't go back in there. Yeah, that's important. Shadowfell Cruel. I mean, we're if we come across him, if he's there, then it's like, okay. Wait, was the plan to fight him or no?
How about you can ask the party
That's
in character?
yeah. Okay, I think that is all the important bits. Neth made a lot of business cards in general. Oh wait, okay, no, I missed the whole like. I'm part of a cult. Hey, you shouldn't really say you're part of a cult thing. What if I became the first member of your cult then? That's
Oh yeah. So what happened? Was I vividly remember this? Sir Alaras was like, "This is a bit culty," and then tried to get Neff to start a cult, and then everyone just got roped into it, and it got crazy. And I think that Loran wants to start a cult for Brian.
That's really
because
wholesome.
Wow.
I know.
That's what we do.
I was saying this before with Ulster being. No, oh, I thought Lily. I thought you left. I don't know why. I thought it was Lily. I'm sorry. George, are you okay?
Looking like two dots circling
dots.
around.
We'll get there.
Two dots. Oh,
For
sorry.
all of the tension between, not tension, bickering between Loran and Ulster, Loran wants to make a cult for Ulster. It needs to happen.
Of which he's the only member.
No one else is allowed to join.
Loran oversees admissions and rejects everyone.
I don't need anyone else. Anyway.
Why would you need anyone else? Ever.
How did I do with time? Was that 10 minutes?
Let's go with it.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah, that's probably alright. Just to jog my memory, you guys are still planning to have a long rest here.
No, we're gonna stay up all night and have a party. No? No? Okay, no. No, we're not having a party.
Okay. Well, we could have something. Anyway. So. Thank you so much, Anna, for the wonderful recap.
Thank you, Anna.
Now, let us go from the blasted ice desert into the ice palace itself. Okay. So. Yay. everyone, you find yourselves in your various states of being, on the verge of creating a cult, slightly wound up by Sorelleras or otherwise, in the Ice Palace of the Masai Ice Desert. The evening is yours, and I do believe there were sandwiches being to be had at Kev's quarters. So we'll pick up from there. You guys enter into Kev's private rooms in the Ice Palace. Very modest, very well kept, and as before, a small array of sandwiches, snacks, and teas have been laid out for you on a few tables that have been pushed together. As you guys settle down, Loran stops at the door, just his hand kind of like hovering on the frame, about to enter, when he looks to the side and catches Ulster hanging back slightly in the corridor. Friends, give me just one moment. And Loran just closes the door on a Kev being like, all right, I just make sure you don't spend too long. I can't keep the tea warm. Fire, you know.
Anyway.
I guess then the door closes shut. Loran just spins on his heel slightly, leans against the wall, Ulster, and just says, I see you wanted to get me alone. How mysterious.
Also just looks up at him. Are you trying to intimidate me?
I am generally menacing when I want to be, but no, not this time.
Without the Joshin, I feel quite small.
You're the perfect height.
Thanks, Loran.
You're welcome. I'm so complimentary. Yes.
I was going to show Sorelleras the mirror. I'm not sure if I should do that alone or...
I think I have an idea of what you wish to show. Are you asking me to come, though?
I'm just saying you can if you want, but I'm not asking you to do anything.
Have I given you the impression that I would say no to that?
No, but everyone deserves free will. Mostly.
Well, then I think you know my answer. I like the way you think.
I am a cult leader.
Some people just haven't earned the right to choose.
So would you like to come?
Always.
Okay, Ulster pulls the door open. Kev, we're going to be another few minutes. Please enjoy the tea. I can heat it up when I'm back. Just don't tell anyone. He winks, shuts the door.
And then the door closes. Everyone, you guys are left with a hyperventilating Kev. You feel the need to suddenly bring out a safety blanket.
As a medic, can I help him stop his hyperventilating? Can I do like a medicine check or something and be like, alright, okay,
Yeah,
regulate your breathing, pay attention to your heart rate.
Create space.
Create space, everyone, get away.
Go for it.
That's 11. 11.
Gives him a plastic bag to do his breathing.
Yeah, you get plastic. Hey, this is my fantasy land. There is no plastic here. We love the environment. But there's a paper bag for sure, which Neff is just like, well, I used to use these to hold my business cards, but tips all the business cards out.
Get the business cards out, we need them for air.
What you now have on the table in front of you is sandwiches filled with business cards and egg salad.
Business sandwich.
That's the food of businessman riches.
That is what he would eat. He would eat a business card sandwich.
So, you all together back up Kev as he hyperventilates, whilst Ulster, you take Loran back up to Sorelleras' mansion.
Sarasa, what are you doing?
Sarasa, having a mansion? Ooh.
Ooh, Sarasa.
Ooh, Sarasa. Entering inside, Sorelleras is seated at the armchair opposite the.
Sorry. I thought Sorelleras was with us for sandwiches. Because we had invited him, and Gerol and Valis.
Fun. Sorelleras walks back with you, sits down. Sorry. I thought it was Gerol and Valis only, but my mistake.
In that case, also would have
reminding me.
taken Sorelleras outside.
Neat. Okay. Thank you for reminding me. Okay. Sorelleras sits down in the armchair, looks across at you all stare,
Hello.
curiously, and just says, so... interesting. Why have you brought me back here?
I wanted to show you a thing.
Alright.
Wait 1 moment. Ulster opens his bag, rifles through, pulls out the mirror. This thing. Here you go. Oh wait, no, give it back. I need to ask it a question, and you need to just take a look at what you see and tell me, is this adjacent to what we could expect to see in the Shadowfell? Because if it is, that's a little bit concerning.
I see. Right.
Okay.
Let me have a look here. Right, so you want to pass it over to...
I think also probably ask the mirror, like, one of the standard questions, like, what would have happened if I had never met Loran, or what would happen if I joined with Cruel, etc., to get the vision of Nega Brian.
Understood. Okay. Loran sits and listens to your question, and you can see there's a reaction. But he hides it well.
Ulster just creeps across, grabs his hand.
George, can you put your mute on if that's alright?
Oh, sorry. Absolutely fine.
Thank you. So, you pass the mirror over. You pass the mirror over, and Sorelleras takes it in hand and just kind of like caresses the side and watching it. Their expression changes slightly, their brow furrowing intrigue.
Can I do an insight check?
You may.
Let me just tip all my dice out. Okay. 30.
Oh my god! They are definitely intrigued by what's happening here.
Okay.
Curious, you can see them lean into the mirror. Their eyes kind of lift up to Loran and then to you and then back down. What is this item? Exactly.
It
Its
was a
history.
gift.
What you see in this is not a reflection, I believe, of the Shadowfell. The Shadowfell springs from your choices. Here, yes. But it could not create entirely new realities for others. It could not rewrite that which would affect another soul, if that makes sense. So you might find yourself like this, but the version of Loran here would be very different. The version of Karul from here would be very different. Does that make sense?
But the fact is, whenever I look in the mirror, no matter what question I ask, when I don't meet Loran, when I meet Karul, that's how I end up. Is that what I'm going to see in the Shadowfell? And are they going to see similar entities?
You will not see this exactly, but similar entities, I believe so. Perhaps at the beginning of your journey, when you met Loran, when those feelings changed, you would have seen something closer to this, but it takes on all of the things that happen to you and all of the choices and builds them and changes with it. So, if you have to ask me, I cannot tell you precisely. But you will see something similar to this, I believe.
And this is going to sound like I'm very self-involved, but there are certain things that I don't want to see.
Yes.
I don't know about the others. I've never let them use the mirror to see how they could have ended up, but in some of the visions I've seen a child that I had with Karul. There's no way that that could exist in the Shadowfell, right?
No. Dread domains. They can converge, but they cannot create a new life. I would expect if you have the misfortune to stumble into your own domain, you may find Lorance close by or merged in collision with yours. And if Karul's soul is free to move and to create its own domain, there is a possibility that his would be there as well. But I would first ascertain whether Karul's soul is free, because that is a prerequisite.
Okay. So then we just need to be prepared for horrific, evil versions of ourselves.
Yes. Dreadful versions, you could say.
Thank you, Sararas. Makes it better. I appreciate the clarification.
No worries. When I say freedom of the soul is a prerequisite, freedom to move from the body, of course, is what I'm referring to. Whether that soul is owned by a deity, for example, or owned by a patron, such as your friend Cass's soul is, that changes nothing. And a shadow version, a Dreadlord, could be created from that soul still.
And these Dreadlords, can they be reasoned with as other individuals, or are they just evil entities, wanton destruction?
I think this is where we see another divergence from what is in the mirror. This version of you. Am I right in suggesting that, to a degree, they could not be reasoned with, could not be brought to see the person you are now, to empathize?
Can you reason with an insane person?
Not in any way that matters. The Dreadlords are not the same in that respect.
So they have their own minds.
They have your mind. In flux. Like I said, Dreadlords, they can choose to allow a traveler to leave their domain. But it is a hard choice to make, for in leaving, a condition must be fulfilled, which would require redemption or reform of some kind.
Of the Dreadlord or us?
To the Dreadlord. Like I said, these energies are in flux, and it is not impossible. But it is hard.
we are going in to essentially stop someone. If we enter the Dreadlord's domain, mine, Cass's, Loran's, anyone's, could we not... You say they're powerful entities. We could potentially use them to our advantage.
That's dangerous thinking. These entities are powerful, yes, but they exist, like their name would suggest, off of negative energy, off of dread. You cannot necessarily negotiate with them. Though, to be fair, I've yet to meet anyone who actually tried. I feel like you and your friends would be the type to. If you do attempt it, please let me know how it goes.
If we offered them someone who was in more dread than us, more fearful, maybe they could keep him.
If you could offer them something interesting, if you could offer them something like that, which would perhaps satiate them in some way, perhaps they would let you leave. Perhaps that would be a condition fulfilled. Though you'd have to pick carefully.
Well, Cass doesn't want to kill Sai. Sai must be scared. There's a demon after him. He's been given this task. I think he's pretty scared. If we could leave him behind in one of the domains, that's as good as getting rid of him. And punishing him effectively. Still meets the conditions of our contract as well, because we were the ones who had to get rid of Sai. Surely our dread partners would be the same. Still us getting rid of him.
I do not think you're incorrect.
I'll pitch it to the group.
Sorellas looks from you all stared to Loran and says, "From the look on your face, I can tell you're having similar thoughts." And Loran just smiles and says, "Yeah, well, something along those lines." Well then, it looks like you have come to a reasonable conclusion.
Appears so. Thank you. I'll speak with Loran quickly before sandwiches and tea, but please do enjoy.
Of course. I'll let you guys go ahead so that there's not an awkward kind of like lull where we're both walking in the same direction. Okay.
Or you could walk ahead. You do have much longer legs than both of us.
And a greater wingspan.
For now.
I'll take my leave then. Sora stands and moves out of the room. And Loran looks at you and says, "I would have had more input on that conversation if I wasn't spending half the time being a dragon."
So, do you have an opinion? You always have an opinion.
I do. I like your plan. I was thinking of something very similar.
Feeding him to a Dreadlord, but it can't be Cass's Dreadlord if Cass's Dreadlord would be potentially allied with Elan, considering that is the flip side It would have to be someone else's. I guess whichever one we stumble on.
Unfortunately, I think that is correct. And there is also the worry that if we throw Sai into Cass's domain, that his fear could be fed off by Alan, and Alan could become more powerful in turn, and we yet have no idea what exactly his power is funding.
We also can't, in that case, we also can't throw Sai to Neff because of Jivakari.
Oh no. Besides, I'm already convinced that the Shadow Lord of Neff is in this realm with us.
Yeah, same. Okay, well. We'll see who we stumble on. But if what Solaras said and our domains are next to each other, I don't know if I'm intrigued or I want to avoid.
I'm far more amicable to the idea of having a look, knowing that a certain someone won't be there.
I'm glad to. But, I haven't seen the other versions of Bluey and Slia. I've seen your other version.
One of many, I'm sure. And like I said, well, not like I said, I'm not Sorelaras, I'm Loran, like Sorelaras said.
Malfunction.
Like
Right,
Sorelaras
okay.
said.
Do you need rewiring?
Clink, clink, clink. Like Sorelaras said, it's not going to be quite like in the mirror. From what I'm understanding, the shadow versions of ourselves move and adapt according to the energy we put out on this plane. According to what shapes us here. The greater acts of evil that are enacted against us, I suppose the more power they themselves take on, the more they change.
If we get trapped in the domains, we might also need to be able to reason with them. Depending how powerful they are, how evil they are.
You take Loran, I'll take Ulster. I would never be able to
You're gonna
reason
try and
with myself.
seduce my shadow self.
Bold of you to assume I won't succeed.
You succeeded in one universe.
And many more to come. So,
Sandwiches, and I'll pitch the idea to the group.
sounds like a plan.
Let's feed Sai to shadows. Good, I like that pitch. Also throws open the door.
Work on your delivery a little. Make it a bit more jazzy.
No.
I can do some pyrotechnics behind you. Do you not like my idea?
I think I have enough emphasis all on my own.
Wow.
That's why I'm a cult leader.
Loran was looking really like putting on a really offended look just then. But he just sort of stops and says, "You know, my cult would have been dedicated to you."
Ulster reaches up and grabs Loran's face to pull it down. Aren't you my only follower?
I'll banish you.
He gives him a little kiss.
Uh-huh.
You'd miss me too much.
I can recall you like that.
Also pushes open the door.
So, whilst this is all happening, everyone else, what are you up to?
Quick question.
Kev's tea parlor.
I
Yes.
thought that to have a Dreadlord version of yourself or whatever, I thought you had to die, and in that act, the splitting of the soul, then you end up with the Dreadlord. I thought that's what you said last time, but if I'm wrong, do tell me.
Okay, so let me have a look. Dreadlords.
Maybe Dreadlord's the wrong word. Maybe Shadow Self is more accurate.
Things which occur in the real world can also affect the Shadow Realm itself. For example, if one were to commit an act of great evil, destructive power, the Shadowfell would be changed in turn. The place in which that betrayal took place would become one of great power. Acts of evil leave stains upon the world, and those bleed into the Shadowfell. It is believed that entities can feed and thrive off of that power, allowing areas in the Shadowfell to collapse into demi-planes. These entities might grab those who committed awful acts and force them to live in these collapsed planes, so that they could exist off their power, and these become dread domains. Rebirth into the Shadowfell, the Shadow Realm, would be that if a person has a strong fate but dies before it can be fulfilled, they could be reborn into the plane of shadow, finding themselves changed and infected by death. And sometimes this goes wrong, with the soul manifesting in other ways. Half in the Shadowfell, half in the original body. Those are two separate concepts. The concept of the dread domain does also extend to there being a Dreadlord who runs it for sure. But the thing that we're talking about in this aspect is a combination of many different concepts from the Shadowfell. So maybe yes, Dreadlord is probably the wrong word, but anyone who rules a dread domain is technically a Dreadlord. Yep. And not everyone who is reborn and not everyone who's reborn in the Shadowfell would become a Dreadlord.
Got it.
Cool.
It's so fluffy, I'm gonna die.
Oh.
He
Yeah.
likes cuddles.
You know how humans are like 80% water? Robbie's 80% cuddles.
Yay!
Science.
Is it 75? Or is it 72?
I have no idea what number it is.
How much
That's
of
science.
human?
90%. 95%. 99%.
Ooh, 73.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, they've changed it. 60% of the body is water.
I wonder
And
if...
then the brain and heart are composed of 73% water.
Mm.
That's horrifying.
I wonder if it varies from person to person. I feel like I definitely have a
Wonder
more
what?
watery brain.
I just had a really awful thought. Anyway.
What? Yeah, what was the awful thought?
Well, you know how you can like dehydrate fruit and food and stuff.
Yeah.
Oop! Anyway.
Somewhere a zombie just licked their lips.
Travel snack. Yeah.
Dried brain.
Okay.
Okay.
So, you guys in Kev's tea room. What are you doing? Kev has just about finished hyperventilating. Puts down their bag. Thank you.
You're doing okay. Just keep regulating your breathing, you'll be alright.
Am I doing okay? I sometimes question this.
You're doing great.
Being told that by you is not a comfort.
Kev.
I know great when I see it.
Okay. Louis, you said my name with quite enthusiasm.
You're doing great.
Thank you. Again, our confidence has not been inspired within me.
You're doing your best, and that's all you can do.
Thank you. Forgive me for not appreciating your words, but I do not trust your judgment, most of you.
That is accurate and fair.
Yes.
Cass is ignoring Kev and has gone straight for the sandwiches.
Cass, you find yourself encountering many a business card in your search for sandwiches. Is
this not sandwiches?
Oh, sorry. I'll just...
No. It is sandwiches,
pull those-
but Neff threw business cards all over them.
Sorry, it was a medical emergency. I'll take these out of the sandwiches.
Can I roll a constitution to see if I eat a bit of a business card?
Yeah, sure.
What did I
Was thinking non-toxic.
What did I miss?
Oh, okay. What is my stat for constitution? Was it just a normal constitution check
Yes.
or a saving throw?
Let's just do a check for funsies.
Then
Was that a normal constitution check or a dazzling constitution check?
Where's Constitution? That is a dirty 20.
You spit out a piece. You spit out a piece.
All right,
then-
-1 business card to the inventory.
Neat.
This card doesn't taste very good, Neff. I think you should, when you do the next version, make them edible.
What flavor?
Yes.
Yes, flavor. I like it. Getting people to agree to the cult via flavoring. Haven't thought of that before. That's very devious, Cass.
I know. I'm clearly very good at starting cults.
I think what you find is that most of the business card craft paper and ink that you've used is somewhat made from natural fibers. So it does have a distinct taste to it, and that taste is slightly ashy cedarwood and retching. Kev retches in the background as he like accidentally chokes someone.
Kev, are you okay? Can I inspect him? Is he fine?
You can try.
I can try. I would like to try. All right, I will try with a medicine check. That is dirty 20. Kev, are you okay? What's it called? Heinemann? No, that's the Mythbuster. Heimlich maneuver?
Heimlich.
Heimlich.
Outdated, or maybe not outdated, depending on where you're from. I can't remember.
Heimlich maneuver.
Heimlich. Yes, I would like to do one of those. What's it called here in this fantasy universe? The Neff maneuver.
You can invent it right now. Sure.
I would like to invent the Heimlich maneuver in D&D.
Okay. Go for it.
I do the thing. With my dirty 20, I get behind Kev and I begin applying pressure in quick bursts.
You'll never be good enough.
Where's your homework?
Not that kind of...
You're approaching your deadlines rapidly and you've done nothing.
No, not that kind of pressure.
Okay.
Anybody.
No distract. Okay. You go and just start doing compressions. Or make me a dexterity save.
A dexterity save. I guess that's apt because we're attempting to save this boy. Dexterity save. Oh, that's really good. That's a 21.
21?
19 on the die.
19 on the die. Okay, with a 21, you just go like 1, 2, and then just a business card scatters across the table and just kind of is in a salivary slop. And
Kev, are you okay?
His mouth is just making ungodly shapes.
Okay, have a seat. Have a seat for a little while. You're in trauma right now. In shock. One of those two. This is one of those two.
Happens a lot more often when you guys come to tea.
It's almost kind of guaranteed in some ways, but regardless, have a seat.
That's really not reassuring.
No, weren't you supposed to be going somewhere
Tomorrow. Right?
tomorrow? But of course. What a fool I was to assume you were going at utmost haste.
Kev almost dies on a business card. So when are you guys leaving? You guys are going, right?
No,
Do you want
are.
us to leave, Kev?
Oh my god, when did you get here? And Loran and Ulster are just like hidden in different parts of the room. Like in the shadows they emerge, eyes first. Loran looms like, yeah, Kev, aren't you having a great time?
You don't want us to be here, Kev.
I don't think he likes us anymore, Ulster.
Slya
Kev
just
starts
gestures to
crying.
the business card that Kev spat up.
He just cries.
I am also quite sad.
You weren't even here, Ulster.
I
You
was
know
here for a
nothing
while,
of
but you're
what
just
took
fine.
place.
Oh, I can imagine. He looks at Death. What happened?
Well, he was hyperventilating, so I had a bag of fucking business cards. Just a moment. collect myself.
Neff, language.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
It's just the domino effect of what's happening. Just it's so bizarre.
We do
How
not say
drunk
the
is
big
Cass?
F
I had
here.
I had a paper bag, not a plastic bag. I don't know what plastic is. It doesn't exist in this universe. I had a paper bag.
Drinking
It was
the entire time.
filled to the brim with business cards. So I threw them aside in an attempt to come to his aid. As a result, the business cards were scattered amongst the food.
Game.
Oh my god.
Every time Kev cries or
Huh.
is like upset about Allstare, Cass takes a shot. And every
Okay.
time Neff does something that causes chaos, she does a shot. Every time Siege has to come in and be the mum friend, she does a shot. Every time
Amazing.
Bluey's like, what? She does a shot.
So the paper bag helped, and he stopped
Any
hyperventilating.
other-
But then he took a bite of the sandwich, and he choked on a business card, and he was about to die. So I invented a new medicinal maneuver to
Neff?
save him, and now he's here.
Neff.
This is where we are.
Cass, anyone else would be paralytic, but you are just about holding on to consciousness.
I don't even know if we should involve you with the plan around. What do you think?
I think if we tell them,
Mm-hmm.
we might just unlock a level of insanity within them, which could be genius.
Do you want to put up a sanctum?
Perfect. Excuse me. Loran takes a seat. Goodness me. Imagine how many people could have spied on us if it wasn't for me and my great powers.
Thank you,
Sorry.
Lorraine.
Thank you. We all like in a chorus. Thank you, Lorraine.
Thank you, Lorraine.
Lorraine.
You're welcome, everyone. Don't forget.
Cass does another shot because every time Luran is really cocky and self-assured, she does a shot.
I think Slya is joining in on this drinking game, but like halfway through.
Don't forget you only live because I
Yes,
let
Cass
you live.
will
And also
slide,
let you live.
will slide a shot over to you at every point.
Yes. Alright, you should be fine by now.
Cool. Everybody, we
Yes.
are going. Get this. We are going to feed Sai to a Dreadlord.
Okay, that's an interesting plan.
Yes, it is.
I'm incredibly smart and it gets my stamp of approval.
I like the sound of it. How do we do it?
Slya looks like she has questions. Slya, the floor is yours. Neff, thank you for your question on how we do
Be
this. That
respectful,
will be
I am
answered
your
soon.
The seal of approval from
Ulster
Lorraine
has a new thing.
is
Go on.
good, but okay. So do we know for sure that feeding Sai to a Dreadlord would fulfill our end of the deal? Because our
Will it be
souls
getting
are on the line. Cerzer's back is on the line.
Well, they said we had to deal with Sai and get rid of him. So if we feed him to a Dreadlord, which is not Cass and probably not Neff, they would eat his energy and his fear. And
But
that would be
okay, but I thought that the exact wording was kill Sai, and I just want to make sure.
I have a solution for you, friends. Like I said, I'm incredibly smart and handsome and, a whole list
You
of
just
other
want
things.
them to drink.
I know. That's... You caught on to my plan. That's not any fun anymore. Oh well.
You have to take another approach.
I guess I'll just use my smarts earnestly. Yes, the wording was that we did have to kill Sai, but think of it this way. If we kill Sai in the Shadowfell and bring him back, we still killed him, but also made it that he cannot leave. Add another layer of protection, we throw him into a dread domain.
I like that. And if we
Yes,
could convince
okay.
the Dreadlord to help us, then
Do we really want to go into one of these dread domains?
no one's done it before in terms of allying with a Dreadlord, and I think we should do it.
I like the sound of that. Diplomacy.
Cass raises her shot and goes, here, and downs it.
Okay.
I think another thing we could do is come up with a list of potential Dreadlord candidates to look for.
Mhm.
I'm hesitant for personal reasons and reasons I think everyone can empathise with to go straight for my own or Allstare's domains. But we can put them on the table as an option if we can't find any better ones. So, anyone else?
I don't think Cass or Neff should be the options. Cass, because I think your Dreadlord might be allied with Alan, and Neff, because you are Neff.
Oh, okay. I think my Dreadlord might be easy to befriend.
Definitely.
I think he might be the Dreadlord.
Oh. Well, we're already friends then. Who do I eat?
That's questionable. Anybody else?
Well,
I think
okay,
Slya's Dreadlord could be
We need a very
good
evil Dreadlord.
candidate.
Oh.
Who is evil?
Maybe Bluey's
We could
Dreadlord.
find out with the mirror tomorrow if we want to take a look at Slya's potential Dreadlord.
Just as DM step in, the mirror isn't going to show you what's in the Shadowfell necessarily. It's just
No,
going
we
to
can
show
see
you.
how evil you can get.
Also, I think as well, it's about powerful energy created, and that determines how powerful a Dreadlord can become. So long as there's been a cataclysmic or seismic event in the person's life, then they've been able to gather power that way. So it's not
I have an
necessarily.
idea.
Yeah, it's not necessarily. Okay, yes, I see your hand. It's not necessarily a prerequisite of the most evil will be the best choice. It's probably the most likely to want to take Sai and eat him, as you're saying. Go on, Ulster.
Yes.
Or then,
I think we should all write down our trauma and then decide whose trauma will be most effective in getting rid of Sai.
I think that's a bad idea because trauma is incomparable.
No, because then we
I
decide
think
which
we
trauma
can't-
is most applicable to consuming Sai.
yes. Well, both agreeing with actually both of you, but so speaking of applicable trauma, as Sai did.
Sorry.
Drugs, yeah, it's just like
start a sentence.
motion heading.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So perhaps all stairs might be the most applicable, just with the most reason to want to,
Can I throw in I like that actually a lot. Can I throw in one other name, which might be unexpected, but you make a very good point. If what Cass is saying is true, in that the person doesn't necessarily have to die.
They can't. Yeah, no, I know. Okay. Sorry.
No worries. Actually, no, Cass, you didn't ask about whether a Dreadlord had to die in order to become a Dreadlord, did you? You just asked that in person, rather. It wasn't in character.
I think we can have it in character.
Sure.
We can have it in character.
Then I would say, if what Cass was suggesting is true, Frederick Winterbrand lost both of his children to Sai. And I only just thought of that from what you two just said. And I think that would be...
I think that would be a good contender.
But how powerful would Frederick Winterbrand be? Because he doesn't have magic and he is a human. And he doesn't fight and he's a bit old. Sorry, Frederick. I do love you.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's... I don't think it's necessarily translates. I think if you have if we're saying a shadow self who is a Dreadlord, there is I imagine that they would have powers anyway, regardless of what they had on the material plane, because the whole point is it's created a domain that they rule. So there would have to be some sort of level of containment. If you can't leave without the Dreadlord's permission, then regardless of what they had on the material plane, they will have some power in the shadow plane.
But we need
Cass
them to drain
says, and then does
Sai.
another shot.
Ulster, what were you going to say?
Sorry.
We need them to drain and kill Sai.
I think that...
Who can scare Sai the most? I could draw also gets out a piece of paper, a scary Frederick Winterbrand, and we can see how that works.
The only thing that makes me concerned about putting Sai with Brian's shadow self is because if your shadow self, like mine, would be aligned with Alan, your shadow self would likely be aligned with Karul. and as Sai is my mentor and would have been, I agree that my shadow self would probably not keep him imprisoned, but would your shadow self potentially not as well?
I don't know if Karul and Sai were necessarily friends. That's the
I
only
don't
thing.
think they were, but they were aligned both with Alan, so that there is a potential for that.
It depends. Sorelloras was also saying that my shadow self might be intertwined with Loran's domain, which suggests that Karul is not part. Hopefully, considering the choices that I've made up to this point, Karul would not be in my domain right now. Maybe he was, but hopefully not anymore.
I see.
Hmm.
Potentially.
Hopefully it's evil Loran.
Sorry, I just thought I wanted Siri when I said I see.
Slia, what did you have to say? I saw you put your hand up.
Whatever it was, I lost it. It might have
Something
just.
about you said something about
Oh.
grief, but I can't remember.
Oh,
I don't know what you wanted
grief.
to say.
Grief can be quite powerful. Was all she said.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you.
That was it.
Well, shall we cast a vote?
Hmm.
Brian's shadow self, if we can find him.
I was gonna throw out.
Or Frederick Winterbrands?
Also,
was-
what did you want to say?
Sorry guys, I don't know why. My head is like doing this weird thing where I can't focus on the screen because it's giving me a really bad headache. So if I'm looking everywhere, just ignore that.
That's okay.
I was gonna throw out that I might know where to find my shadow self. And it wouldn't be very far from where we are right now. Just saying.
Loran says, I think that's fair.
But if my shadow self is awful and he does not want to help, and we can run away, Frederick?
I mean, we'd
Sorry.
be able
my
to navigate.
Can
I
I
have to
ask
Right.
and check? Is the plan still to go straight to Titania, but go separately and with doubles of Karul's body in case we get drawn into the Shadowfell by Sai, and then once we've dealt with the body with Titania, then we're planning on going to the Shadowfell and dealing with Sai. Is that
Correct.
So our original plan was to go and try and ambush Sai, so that Cass could talk to him.
My internet went.
That's all right. Slia?
What did
So the original plan was to try and set up an ambush for Sai, and that way Cass could talk to him. Is that still the plan, or are we going to attempt to contact our shadow selves? Because I'm still not.
We could try and drive Sai near if we can kind of navigate the Shadowfell. I have a feeling Sai is not going to be very cool.
I don't think he will either, but I would like to try. But I thought the plan was still to get rid of Karul's body first, because we didn't want
We're doing that
to.
first.
We are doing that first. That's all I need. That's all Cass wanted to check.
Kevin in the corner, like, huh?
Loran, I think, is going to just say, all of that is fine, but I think we should prepare for whoever's realm we choose to enter. That is our only realm that we will enter. From my understanding, it's not something that we'll get a practice round at. And as nice as it sounds to have a backup, considering that Slia and that Neff are only going to get one shot at being able to actually assist us. Whatever we choose has to be the right choice from the get-go. And I'm I'm not saying that means anything we're saying now is the wrong choice. I'm just saying we can't think of this as like we'll have more than one option. We're just going to go in, we're going to do it, and then we're going to go. And I'm sorry if you guys don't like the sound of that. I'm not risking... Also, he just looks at you for a second. I'm not risking my life or any of yours. We're going to get out of there.
The Dread Domain sounds almost too risky with the limited amount of magic. If we can't kill Sai in
A day.
that one shot, in a day, then we might need another option.
I think this is going... I think rather than entering into another combat with Sai, if we could spare that from happening at all, get him into the Dread Domain, especially if it's mine. I think that Moran might not be far from it either. Sai would probably have little chance of escaping. And I want to trust that I could try and reason with whatever shadow self I have. I believe it would be a good option to enter the Dread Domain. I'll admit I'm also just curious to explore, but I do genuinely think that this would
Be our best option. All right.
I'm a magician. Curiosity is a prerequisite.
Worst comes to us, we can get you out as well.
Don't speak like that. I don't need to be coddled, I don't think, in this. We're going into all of this knowing the risks. I just want to make sure we're making the right choices, so that we only have to go once. More than the physical pain, from my understanding, the Shadowfell can inflict plenty of mental wounds as well. And I know we have enough of those to go around, and then some.
Well, hopefully Karul's not there.
I'm almost certain of it.
That's a start. Can I insight check Loran?
Of course.
19.
19. You can tell that he's not quite convinced, but sure. He's not quite convinced, but he's ready to make the choices that need to be made, and he will head down. And you can tell he also doesn't necessarily... You can tell from what he saw, what reactions you saw when he was in the room with you in Slyan'ssun, that the concept of going to these dread domains, where they could see versions of you and himself, naturally is something he is like slightly has an aversion to. But he sees the logic, you can tell that much. And from what he says, you can tell he sees the logic, and he's willing to put his vote if we're voting.
I'm sorry if this is going to be painful for anyone. I think
I don't feel pain anymore, I'm desensitized.
Ulster just like pinches him.
Oh, the wound! Oh my goodness!
Got all your HP in one.
Aha!
I would like to believe that with the choices that I've made up until now, that in my dread domain, Loran will not be far. Which means that, on the one hand, we have the benefit of having 2 Dreadlords to take care of Sai, but also 2 Dreadlords who could hurt us. Maybe not physically, but mentally. But I've seen it. I've seen a lot of
Sorry, did you
The
say who
dark.
couldn't hurt us? Or who could
Who could
hurt us?
hurt us? Who could hurt us? Can you not hear me?
I hear you. Okay.
We just need to be prepared and put our main focus in trapping Sai there. We need to be able to convince them that they want Sai. He's afraid. He's scrambling to get Alan's approval. He's killing people left and right. Clumsily, the way he killed Malena and Merlin. I think he has enough fear and dread in him that they'll want him over us. So I think if we can, we get him there, and we make the trade with them, and hopefully they let us go.
All right.
Sounds good.
You're my
Sandwiches?
best friend, and I'll follow you, even to your dread domain.
Oh, I'm sure my dread counterpart will love you.
Yes, I'm sure we'll have a great time.
Comes down to it, you and Loran can seduce him, and Cass, you can befriend him. And Slya, you can mother him. And Neff, you can
Oh.
entertain. And
I was
Bluey,
gonna
uwu.
I was just going to say,
I think
Bluey,
we
if you have
should-
anything you wanted to add, seeing as we've gone around the table.
No, not again. Please don't.
That was really funny. That cat's imprinted on you, truly. Bluey opens her mouth and a cat jumps on her lap, and you've never seen it before.
Also, I have dinner right here, so at some point I will just camera off and eat it because I'm
That's
starving.
fine. We can do a break in about 10 minutes. Well, actually, when it gets 10 past, we can do a break once I made this decision. So, Loran just nods and says, we have a majority then. Alright. Well, whatever we find, fuck it, I'm sure we'll survive. Now, I am going to go and check on my bodies.
I'll come with you.
I don't know, you guys have tea and drinks and sandwiches.
Also latches onto Loran. You are not okay.
I
I'm
see, I've been captured. Oh
captured.
god.
He lifts Loran up.
The Rand's feet stay firmly planted on the ground.
Can you lift him up? Wait, I'll make a strength check. It's a 16.
16. You lift him up about an inch, Loran keeps his toes firmly planted on the ground.
Swings him a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Fun. Right then. Walk in tandem with me, ready? Say no. Say no.
They leave.
You leave and Kevin's like, they didn't even eat anything!
Also backs in, grabs a sandwich, leaves.
There's business cards in them. Bluey, what were you
I can
going to
digest
say?
people, I can digest anything.
Well, I don't know what I was going to say earlier, but Blue would like to have taken a sandwich and have tried to get a business card out of it, out of another one to give to Kev.
Gotcha.
Just like
Aylin,
popping out
could you
at the
redo
same
your
time.
camera for me?
Be careful of the lag, George, just so we can keep the conversations clear. Sorry. Bluey, Anna, can you continue?
Blue would like to take 2 sandwiches and at least with one of them remove the business cards to give to Kev. And
Gotcha.
yeah, if
Okie
he's sort of like sitting still shocked and away from, yeah, should.
Kev looks at the sandwich and just says, thank you. Starts nibbling. What was that you were talking about? I don't understand. Is it to do with that plane that we found information on?
Yeah. Sort of just talking about the fact that it's not a good place to be. So whatever could limit our time there is probably good.
Right.
and it's quite dangerous. And it's like, okay, do we accept all the risks? I think so. Cool. Let's do it.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes.
And this dreadful Ulster, please make sure that please treat him with the respect he deserves. He's still Ulster.
That's right.
All right.
Well, they'd be just like us, but you know,
Horrifying.
one thing different happened, right? Or
Well, from
One
the
thing-
way you were describing it, it's more of like a, depending on how cataclysmic the event was for the person, a certain amount of power would be generated. And that would be then used to fuel the domain, collapse a demi-plane, which is almost impossible to leave. Anyway,
you know,
Sounds
Sometimes-
fun.
sometimes you're apathetic about something, and it's you know you should care about something, but it's like, oh gosh. And so I'm gonna tap into that slight energy if I happen to see myself, and I'll go, hi, I know, hey
I see.
maybe I don't have quite a great plan if this happened with me, but
Anyway. Bluey, I think I understand what you're saying and what you're trying to do, and I appreciate you very much. I just have anxiety, which means that when I make sandwiches and people don't eat them, I think they all hate me. They all hate me. I'm fine.
yeah, Bluey's gonna taste the sandwich.
That means more to me than I can say. And Kev starts
Sandwiches
crying
are-
again. Cass, it's time to take another shot. And this time I'll have you make a constitution save, please.
Alright. That is a 17.
Okay. You're just about alright.
No contest.
Ha.
Wahaha.
Slia?
Just a quick question. Could, while this whole conversation's been going on, can Slia have been watching, like, Chiral and Valis in the corner?
Jarl and Valis in the corner are just kind of eating sandwiches, staring wide-eyed at you guys like,
Cool.
Well, Valis says, Jarl is like, this is fine.
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
Because I have a feeling that somebody else in this room would also have a dread
Shadow
domain of
self.
his own, and just thinking about that.
That's the kind of trauma we just don't want to touch, I feel.
Yeah.
That's
Let's
just
see.
too tragic.
I just don't want it to be any worse. It's already so bad.
17 plus 9, is that 26?
Sure. Jarl is very clearly thinking about it. You're staring at me.
Nope. She just stares down at the shot glass.
Make it a contest.
Which Cass fills.
It is full. With a clear Nevin-like liquid.
Yep, she takes a shot.
As I expected. Alright, as you guys finish up tea, and Kev snivels himself into a low slumber, and just kind of like says, please just leave at your own accord, I'm going to, and pulls a sort of screen to hide half of the room, and you just hear him like lie down on the other side, like... You can tell it's probably time for the party to be over. Nom 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 nom. Yeah, or you
Maybe on
can
the way
stay
have,
much
like-
longer. The party
We
still goes.
can-
The party carries on into the night then, with Kev, your host, asleep in his bed after far too much trauma, and the rest of you fishing business cards out of sandwiches. And we will pause here, take a quick break, and then we will be back for Titania, and then potentially finding your entrance to the Shadowfell. All right, back in a bit.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Boom audio, boom video. Hello, we are once again live. We're back on the internet. Hello.
Hello. All right. So let's get right back into it. As you guys finish up in Kev's parlor, you can make your way back to. You guys finish up in Kev's parlor. You can make your way back to Soreloras's mansion to hunker down for the evening.
Slip.
As you return, Soreloras closes the door behind you and just says, I've spent quite some time here now. Just so you're aware, I wasn't planning on staying this long. And from the sounds of it, you're also going on some other adventures before you'll need me again. So I'm thinking of taking my leave. Just so you're aware.
Would Ulster and the Ram be there? Because they were dealing with Cruel, and I'm guessing they'd probably go back to Ulster's room.
Probably not there, so...
The rest of us are there, right? Sorry?
Yes.
Okay.
We understand. Thank you for even staying this long and helping us. As and when we need you again to find the contracts, is there a way that we can contact you?
You say... You're going to the Shadowfell? Just let me know when you return.
Of course.
Wonderful. And to you two, looks to Jarrell and to Valis. Do you wish to return with me? I'll take you to wherever it is you wish to go, if you like, before I leave. And Valis looks at Jarrell, and Jarrell looks at the rest of you and just says, I don't know about you, but it sounds like this journey you're going on is yours. I've seen my part done.
It was a big part, so...
Thank you for seeing it through this far with us.
It's not like I'm going far. You have to come and get Courage and Shu eventually. They're still waiting for you.
If she hasn't eaten Courage. We come back and just hear a little voice from Shu's stomach. No sparks.
Bluey Sparks!
I've gotten myself in quite the conundrum.
That's exactly what you would say.
I'm slowly dissolving.
Stomach acids are perforating my scales, Bluey Sparks. They're falling off one by one and melting into neon liquids. Oh, the pain! Oh, Bluey Sparks, how it hurts me!
Oh no.
I can see my bones, Bluey Sparks.
So
Even
dark.
my teeth, which are also bones.
It's kind of horrifying. Not gonna lie.
The light is fading, Bluey Sparks.
Emma, stop.
Oh my god.
I will stop.
Just this unending cheery voice even into the depths.
All the way through the
For
digestive
me, what
tract.
made it creepier is the fact that you're like really laggy and roboty.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No. Shall I try again? The night is calling, Bluey Sparks. Was that more or less laggy?
Oh, it's just, I think it's my internet
Gotcha.
rather than your internet. You weren't the only laggy ghost in the machine.
But of course. Right, so. All that being said, Jarrell just kind of looks at the rest of you and says, I assume we won't be leaving immediately. And Starlar says, no, we can take a moment, a night. Let me replenish my magic and then tomorrow. And Droll says, then I will say goodbye to you fully in the morning.
Hot diggity dog.
Good night.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
At Hot Diggity Dog, Emma's computer crashed.
I thought that was
no.
Cass just responding.
No, Cass, that was an in-game. That is an in-game quote. That was not Georgia. That was Cass. Hot diggity dog. To Jarrell saying goodbye in the morning.
It's a bizarre world we live in.
Yeah.
Wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it.
No. I love exactly what we've done here. Oh, I'm sorry, my friends. Give me uno memento.
It's back.
It's back. It's back.
That's been happening since 2018.
Much like the Babadook living in the basement, never quite leaves. Queer
Thanks,
eye.
Emma.
Sounds about right.
I'm opening up my PC, my personal.
I couldn't finish the Babadook. Like it was.
It was pretty good.
I was for some reason just super stressed watching it and just couldn't bear
Oh god.
just like what his mother was going through.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
Mm.
it was really hard to watch, especially because I'm not usually super calm with horror. And the night I watched it, I was spending the night babysitting like 2 kids, so I was like in a house I didn't really know. Stay there that night, like sleepover, and it was just not super great.
Did the arrangement of
Were
the
they
house
creepy
start to
kids?
change before your eyes?
They were like.
Hmm.
They were like what?
Oh,
So
sorry.
horrifying that you can't describe them.
My computer restarted. Let me see. Can you see me?
Not yet.
I can't see you, but I can
We
hear
see
you.
Laran and his pecs.
Give me a moment. I'm still figuring things out.
We can see now. Or I can see now.
Oh god, my computer's just being slow. Oh, there we are.
Hello.
Everything is horrifying. There we are. Okay.
Yes.
What's I saying?
Babadook.
Babadook dook dook. So yeah, the kids were fine. Like they were cute. 2 of them were cute, and then one of them was like just didn't go outside or leave like the computer room ever. And I was just like, are you really happy with this life, child? Are you sure this is what you want to do? And like, yeah. Like imagine just like, I don't know, what about reading a book?
There are so many kids like that though. Like you see it like restaurants and stuff. The parents like put the kid on the iPad and then
No.
just leave them. And I'm like,
No.
what are you doing? I wouldn't
Oh.
buy my kid an iPad before the age of like 12 for that specific reason. They'd be like, give me the iPad. I'd be like, no, have a book.
Yeah.
Just see the horror in their face.
Exactly. If I ever have a child and they grow up scared of books, I've failed as a parent. I've absolutely
I mean, they could be using the iPad for a
art
audio.
program.
I was gonna say like the what's the Kindle app?
Kindle.
Kindle,
Yeah.
yes.
Takes up less
They
space
will
on the table.
Start on paper.
Raise on paper books.
Well, yeah.
But
The
also
old stuff.
I want to
I-
buy pretty picture books.
I fondly remember growing up with a cassette player.
Yeah.
Which then
Oh,
turned
so
into
I had a
CD
cassette player. That
And,
was
like,
great. And the portable CD player. That was
Yeah.
great. Oh, Lord.
My
That was how my
Harry Potter
parents
CD.
kept me entertained.
Yeah, same. I had
Alright, my love.
yes.
Sorry to. Could we get to the game? Because once everyone comes back, it's going to be real hard to
What
play.
time? Yeah. What time?
They're all out cycling and stuff, but just if we could. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
sure. That's fine.
I'm just.
Okay,
Once
So-
I come back, I won't be able to keep them off the internet.
that's fine. Okay, so as you all go to sleep for the night, Orsta, Loran, oh, the music is a bit too intense. Let me.
I can't hear the music.
I have no music.
Have you guys had no music this whole session?
No, we've had music.
Okay, good. Cool. Better?
Yeah.
Now we have something.
Cool. So, Ulster and Loran, with you attached, makes his way down to the snow to check on the bodies, and seems, as he kind of digs through and just makes sure that the rune circles are unobscured and unbroken,
How's
seems
he cooking?
satisfied. They are rising like dough in a furnace. I'm sorry if I seemed like I was shutting down your ideas up there. It's.
That's okay.
I know it's smart, but
Are you scared?
I'm tired. So. I would have much preferred to go and confront someone else's dark side rather than our own. Because even though we're saying it's your domain, we both know that it's not just you in there.
I would say that I would protect you, but I know you won't stand behind me.
I'm strong enough.
I know.
Anyway. Not much to be done just speaking about all this.
No, we've got to take this dough to Titania.
Indeed.
I didn't bring it up in front of the group, but I still have the Paynite. If we need it as a weapon in Shadowfell, you can just keep it in mind.
Shall we swap for the day?
Can I insight check Loran just to see his mental state?
Sure.
18.
Regardless of whether he thinks this is the best route to take or not, he does seem to be resigned to it, / in a pretty decent mental state.
Okay. I think we'll still give him the Paynite, but say, I'll take it back tomorrow.
Sure. I love you.
Love you too. It's gonna be okay.
You better be. You've got a cult to set up, and I'd love to see you work through all the administration that entails.
Administration?
Hmm.
This is an administration-free cult.
And how will you run the Messiah? Administration free.
This is why there are 2 kings.
Okay.
Be serious.
One king gets to go off and summer in the Feywild.
Yeah.
The other gets to do the paperwork.
Lucas loves paperwork.
I'm sure he will be very amicable to
He
this.
only learned how to read when he was like 12 anyway, so I'm sure he's like practicing his skills still.
We're all practicing skills in some aspect.
Yes, he did try to teach me weightlifting, but
I think he should have tried to teach you another skill. Cult leading.
I don't.
Seems
need
to have
him
massed quite the
teaching
followers. Mhm. That was definitely what I was implying.
that. Also, just jabs Loran in the stomach.
Wait, he's gonna make her dexterity saving throw.
Can I trip him over instead?
Make a. Well, what would it be? We'll have a
Would we
contest.
sleight of hand?
Contest.
If I'm trying to-
Roll
if I'm trying to,
dex,
like-
I'll roll dex.
Okay. But I'm not very dexterous.
That's right.
And that's what's
Yay!
Hold on, I'll take a photo.
What's your addition to dex?
But I rolled a natural 20, it doesn't matter, right?
Loran rolled quite high on the dice, so if your addition is still less,
But it's a natural 20! It's not the rule of D&D.
it's the total roll. It's like in Quidditch.
Aelin. Natural 20 should win, right?
Here's how it goes then.
I ain't the DM here.
Here's how it goes. He falls down and brings you with him and gives you a kiss on the way. And then you bump heads. But it's kind of cute.
Sleep now.
He passes out in the snow.
They're you're gonna die.
I've been felled.
I will drag you back to bed. Stands
Okay.
up, starts.
You can all go to rest. And as you fall asleep, you hear just the sound of a body being dragged upstairs. Alright, so...
And thus a new rumor started.
Wonder who spread this one.
Indeed. So, who has anything they want to do? before
Plot
they go to
twist:
bed?
it's Cass that's spreading all the rumors.
We knew this. We knew. Who does anyone have anything they want to do before they head to sleep?
Cass would like to ask Celia something.
Okay.
Yes.
Celia, I was wondering if you'd mind if I could send a message to Freya.
Yeah, of course.
It's
It's better to
kind of
do them tonight
been-
before.
Yeah, it's kind of been a while, and we're heading to potential Shadow Death realm, so I thought it might be appropriate.
What do you want to say?
How many words do I get again for sending?
25.
25. How's ending slavery going? We fought a giant salamander off to Shadow Realm. I miss you.
Slay signs it as Cass, and we'll go ahead and send it.
Okay. With that response, with that sending, the response would be, after a moment, I wasn't expecting to hear from you, but I'm glad. Stay safe out there. That sounds fucked up. Ending slavery. It's alright. But, you know, I miss you too. That's it.
Thank you, Celia.
No problem. Happy to.
How are you doing?
Not exactly looking forward to us running into darker versions of ourselves or people we know. But it's gotta happen, so.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to see. And I think whilst we're talking, Celia, what is your child's name going to be?
She doesn't have one yet.
Doesn't have one yet. That's fine. Cass is going to reach into a bag, and from the rocks that she bought when they went on the spa retreat, she's carved a it's got, so basically, you know how with star signs, each star sign has its own sort of image. I have asked Emma with in-game what your baby's star sign will be, what month they'll be born into. So Cass has carved a star sign and on like a galaxy background. So there's like some moons, there's some other stars. Plus, and your Slya's child will be born in Leone, which is the 6th month of the year, which is what I have in my notes. So Cass has carved that for Slya. And there's a as you haven't got a name yet, there's a space for where she will carve the name when they have it. And Cass hands it to Slya and goes, there's a lot of darkness in our future, not just the shadows, but there's a light there as well, and I can't wait to get to meet them.
So he just starts crying, like every bit of pent-up emotion just is coming out down her face.
Cass gives her the biggest hug.
As you two embrace. Oh god.
I was just gonna say, I still don't. I haven't found anything yet. I'm still looking.
You have found it. In Phrynia and your child. They're your light. And whatever happens in the future, no matter what we face, we'll make sure that you get back to them.
But what she was saying was more so she meant like I haven't found any solutions that mean that I will be coming back once we leave. Like,
oh, Cass at that. Okay, so she wouldn't have said the other thing if she knew that's what you meant. Cass will like stop hugging you and like pull your head down so it's like at her level, and it's just like, I am getting you back. I am godmother, and I will not allow anything else.
So you just kind of like rest her forehead against your head.
In the
And
dark,
Cass means it. She's getting you back.
as you sit in the darkness of this room with your bedrolls kind of close together, giving each other a hug, there's a flicker in the corner and someone says, "There's a light here too," and a torch lights. Stala sits squatting, just staring at you all. It seemed very dramatic and I wasn't sure when to announce myself. I've been sitting here the whole time. Your face is wet.
Your hiding's getting very good, Valis.
I know. Maybe
You're
this
becoming
was
more
the
like
wrong
your father.
time. I suppose that's
There's no
right.
wrong time.
Kind of scoots closer to Slya. No, none of that. And just kind of starts like wiping your face.
She just kind of like instinctively just kind of giggles a little bit.
I'm gonna go bother Ulster and Duran. I don't know where they are, but I think I heard them.
Cass is like, no. Stops Valis, and it's just
What?
like,
No! You can't hold me back!
How about we play a game, and then you tell
I want to play a game
Ryan
with
and
Ulster!
Loran.
You
Cass is
you remember
correct.
that thing that you were told about at the dinner?
I love how you guys just assume that's what they're doing.
No.
I mean, it's nighttime. It is entirely possible that you and your
Every
husband.
single night.
Well, the assumption is that, like, y'all are having, like, whatever, like, private time, and it's like, well, you know how you keep a kid out of the place that they want to go? You tell them about the thing that they don't want to know about.
Gerard is horrified.
There is the moment like you hear Valis starts to wail, the door just immediately open. Gerard is standing there. What did you do to him?
Cass points to Slia.
What did you do to him? He looks utterly betrayed.
I mean, I didn't actually do anything. Loran told him something. But besides the point, he now no longer wishes to go and scuttle off to outside the mansion.
Gerald just kind of walks in, picks up Valis by the scruff, and just starts walking out again.
I feel like Slia's just still like looks like she's been crying.
Next,
Cass just takes Slia's hand and just.
Neff and Bluey, in your slumber from the next room, you hear just a wailing as Valis cries out.
That sounds like danger. Let's go.
Alright, okay,
Neff,
right.
Bluey, you get up and start looking for danger. Roll a perception check.
Where did I put my character sheet? Perception.
Oh, what the?
22!
8.
Okay.
I rolled the same number on the dice as it was facing up when I picked it up, so it feels like it's rigged, but whatever.
So, can you just... Neff, you got a 2?
No, I got a 2! I got a 22!
22.
22, oh, sorry. And Bluey, you got a... 8. Okay.
8. Sorry, they were weird.
Don't worry. So, Neff, what are you looking for?
Any signs of danger?
Any signs of imminent danger?
Or to confirm whether or not there is danger at all.
Okay, you do hear footsteps and someone disappearing into Gerald and Valis' room with a screaming voice. And Bluey, you also hear this and immediately sense danger.
Okay, yeah, we're all running.
Bluey runs in. Neff, you get the feeling maybe this is just Valis having a tantrum. And Bluey, you open the door to find Valis having a tantrum and he looks at you like, Bluey, play a game with me.
Everyone's alright? What?
Hi everyone.
Okay, game? What game?
Game. I want to climb you like a tree.
Right, she'll, like...
Stand very still.
She will T-pose. She will T-pose. And, like,
Valis just leaps onto one of your arms and starts swinging off it. This is fine. Uses 2 light monkey bars. Climbs up around. He's very leaf. Clearly gets that from Gerald. And you are trapped. Neff, you can slowly escape this fate by drifting back to your room. Bluey, unfortunately you are stuck there for probably another 40 minutes as Valis makes you
Treat up
burst
adventures.
into a climbing frame and then makes you play something akin to Uno, but fantasy Uno.
What? I want to join Uno? I wouldn't leave if there's
You wanna
Uno being
play?
played.
Okay, you can play fantasy Uno.
I want to play fantasy Uno, okay.
Okay, you play fantasy Uno. It's fun.
Plus
Who
2.
wins? Roll me a d20, whoever's highest. Will win.
Alright.
3
11.
for Valis. 11 for Neff.
Come on. Yes, 16.
Oh,
Bluey.
the Uno
You
champ.
You thoroughly thrash Neff, and then you absolutely decimate Valis, and he looks like he's on the verge of tears again, and Gerald just looks at you like, get out before it's too late.
Sorry. Good game. Good night.
Good game. Blue, you're really good at this. Have you played this before? Wow, you're really incredible.
Aww.
Has Bluey played this before?
Yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah, Neff, I'm actually a 5-time world champion. Thanks for noticing my skills.
I speedrun Uno. No kidding. I mean, Oh no, thank you. I thought I wasn't going to win because usually I try and sort of surprise people with the +2, and then they're like, "Hi, I have a +4," and it's like, "Oh, well, I prepared for this moment, +2," and then they're like, "I have another +4," and you're like, "Oh."
That almost happened to me, except I didn't have the second +4, so you really did well there.
Yeah. I mean, learn not to play them immediately, but still, anyway.
Learn not to play them immediately.
You can be like,
See, I was always just, every time I drew a good card, I would just play it straight away. I was just too excited. I couldn't hold it in.
well, there you go. These are pro strats from Pro Uno.
Thanks, Bluey. I really appreciate it. I promise you, next time I'm gonna give you more of a challenge in Uno.
I'd like to go to bed now.
Alright, good night, Bluey.
With that plea to the DM, you guys can lie down. It's like a slumber party when one person just refuses to stop talking and the other keeps trying to go to sleep.
I was gonna joke that is the game Valis wants to play staying up as long as he can.
Hell, well.
Hell well.
Geral's eye bags will tell you that in the morning. So, you guys all go to sleep. When the morning comes round, you wake naturally to the sunrise. No one has come to rise you. No urgencies have awoken you. It's quite a restful sleep. So?
And then Karul pops in through the window. I'm alive, bitches! I lived!
I live!
Suck on that.
I live! You should have seen it. No, I promise. Okay, so you all awake and you're able to do whatever it is you desire.
Neff's gonna go to the toilet. She's gonna find the loot in this place. That's a lie.
Second time? Is that the second time this campaign?
Oh god, and last time she got abducted by sea nymphs, so water nymphs.
Oh yeah, in the same mansion.
Yeah.
What was that noise?
Oh, it's a seagull.
Honest to God,
Somewhere
seagull.
distantly you hear the screams of a gull and you wonder, is it a bird? Or is
is it
someone
Neff
being
trying to go
murdered?
to the loo?
Yeah.
Okay, Neff
one
goes
may
to the
never
loo.
know.
Neff goes to the loo. Everyone else?
Getting ready to go to the Feywild. Packing up.
Packing up. So,
Cass is making sure she looks her best for Titania.
I think also is also making sure he looks his best for Titania.
I feel like they're both giving each other advice. Like, Cass is like, yes, that hairstyle, that's the one. Me? What do I
Also
do?
comes down, he's like, right, we have a mission, Cass.
Yes,
Big-handed lady. Around look away.
big-handed lady.
Loran doesn't come down with you. He decides to sleep in a little bit longer.
Okay.
He wants to be surprised.
Also comes down and he's got his full Feywild gear on. He does not care what the Messiah's going to say. He's like, clear gauze, everything. He's like, yes,
Of
I'm
course.
ready. Cass,
Okay.
what are you wearing?
Cass is where I would say the outfit that Aelin drew her in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Okay.
So for everyone who doesn't know,
Yay! It looks so good. Okay. Wearing your power fits, Bluey and Neff as well, I'm assuming. Slya wearing your usual flowy robes, having briefly dared to shed the furs which you would need to physically live here. You'll shiver your way down, except for Ulster, towards the teleportation circle, and you wonder for a moment, oh, we must go, but where is Loran? And then you hear a boom. Boom.
Oh no!
oh no.
Loran is here to make an entrance.
I know
Step aside,
exactly what he's done.
bitches.
as what can only be described as a 9-foot tall, high femme Loran enters the room. Hello.
Ulster just malfunctions. He's like, oh no.
I just wanted you to remember this visage when you meet Titania. Just remember.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And he clicks his fingers and the illusion dissipates. And Loran is standing there looking very lovely in his Feywild gear as well. Alright. He insight checks you to make sure he doesn't see any disappointment when the big lady leaves.
No. I mean, Ulster was wishing that, I don't know, Loran could have cradled his face in the large hands, but it's fine.
That's for later. So.
And you wonder why Cass stopped Valis.
Yeah.
Bella's just looking between them like, I see.
The spice between you two.
So, Sorelaras, Jural, and Valis do come to see you off. As you stand by the teleportation circle, Sorelaras takes a step away, pulling, I think, Ulster aside just to pass on the information that they already passed to the rest of you, and then allowing Jural and Valis to say their goodbyes.
Can we give Valis a big hug?
Valis gives you a big hug. How dare you? How dare you? I wanted to play with you yesterday, and they wouldn't let me, and I've decided it's your fault.
Also just looks over at Jural over Valis' shoulder.
Jural just like stares blankly, like.
Valis,
says,
trust
"Don't-"
me. You didn't know what to.
Okay.
Loran is very selective with how many people he lets into his games, and at the moment I am the only one he likes to have around. So when I find an opening in the schedule,
Oh my god, no! Brian, stop! Brian, stop! Cass pleads at you from a corner. Like, enough! I know you meant it one way, but it came out another.
Loran
No!
also has a moment like, okay.
Okay, I will stop playing with Loran and only not. No.
Slya looks over at Jural with that knowing look of like, this is what Loran told your son about.
Jural is like, yeah.
Valis, I'm sorry. You can no.
I think
Anything I say
Loran is
now
just
is
pulling
not gonna be-
Ulster away. Like, this is better to finish this here.
Bye, Valis.
Cass goes to give Valis a hug as well. But at the last minute, whips out a dagger.
I was gonna say they could practice the daggers, and I was like, no.
Oh no, Lily! Get out of here! Get out of here!
I'm so unhappy right now. Anything he says, it won't be pure. I blame you guys.
I think
This is on you! This is on you!
They weren't doing anything.
I think after seeing
Also starts
Cass
kicking its feet.
attempt to pull the wool over his eyes and get a knife fight in, he just kind of backs away like, I've learnt many tricks in my time with you people, and one of them is
You
not
have.
being stabbed.
You are wise beyond your years.
I thought he was the stabber.
Shh. I'm trying to understand and empathize with the other side.
It is good. It's better to be the stabber.
Oh, I know, I've done that before. How do you think I
Why
protected all my
miss?
friends?
Good point.
Stab, stab. Stab, stab.
Stab,
Anyway.
stab, stab.
Thank you for all of your
Continue
lessons, friends. I acknowledge you, kinda. I'm
You
gonna
can-
miss you.
You can ride on Shu in the High Solarian if
She's
you'd like.
She is mine now. I have to.
No.
She's my cat.
No.
My cat.
No.
My
I sense
cat.
another boss battle coming up in the future.
Sensing the rising tensions, Loran just says, Valis, I feel like we haven't had a lot of time to just actually chat. But hey, you're fine. Pats you on the head.
I just had a very distinct flash to that moment in Avatar where Zuko's like, "You're just a child," and Hang's like, "You're just a teenager," and that's the energy between Allstar and Valis right now.
Yes, 100%. 100%. And Lauren just says, I think what Allstar was trying to say earlier is that
She was mine.
if you ever need us, we will be there for you. You can rely on us. Whether you want a friend or a protector or just a shoulder to lean on.
And
You've
I
just
want
got
to
your dad.
clarify, don't play with Loran because he cheats.
Just
That's not fair.
Brian.
I don't like that.
Griffin nothing right. I'm very
Loran
uncomfortable
has
with the energy we've created in the studio today.
Why can't it just be pure? Why can't we just play
No.
Monopoly?
You've gone too far already.
Okay. Cool. So, you guys saying goodbye to Jural and Valis. Jural kind of pulls you aside, Slayer, and just says, "Thank you for everything."
Thank you. All the best.
I know you're worried about it a lot. That's all I had to say. I know you're worried about a lot. That's normal.
I think rather than like try and like hug him, she just kind of like taps his hand with hers.
He pulls you into a hug. And then suddenly releases you, just like, no.
No.
And looks
She would try to hug him very briefly and then let go.
Sure. And you all stare. He comes over and he just says, "Thank you for remembering me." I'll be in issue soon.
I'm sure we'll come visit you, but tell Valis that if he does want to befriend Shu, she does bite.
Oh, he knows.
I will not ask how.
She's chewed up more than one of his shoes. She's a taste for leather.
Yeah. Taste people as well, but that's an anecdote for another time.
I'm sure we can find a way to make use of that.
Like pet like owner.
And Gerald puts a hand on your shoulder. And then you two, briefly. A small hug.
I think also would clasp. I don't even know how to describe that. Like that part of Gerald's arm. Just give him a squeeze and then let go. Forearm. That's the word. I'm a writer.
With that, you can make your way to the teleportation circle. And head for the Feywild. Bye. With Salien's assistance and a little bit of Loran's own magic, the teleportation circle lights up. And the wind is knocked from your lungs as you...
Oh, I made it just in time. I was at the toilet the whole time. Whoa, hey everybody. Okay.
Neff, you see the lights around the teleportation circle rising.
Whoa, let me just jump in.
Just jump in. They're all gonna leave without you.
Can I also say in the midst of like trying to find the teleportation circle, I would have found like Joral and Valis and be like, "Where is everybody?"
Oh, they're leaving.
Oh no.
Oh, they're leaving. Okay, I guess you see you later.
And
Thank you for being on our journeys with us. Ah!
Were we not planning on going in pairs and taking
Oh my
cruel
goodness,
body
I completely
duplicates
forgot.
with us?
I was planning
Oh
on
my
going
God,
inside of an
I
apple.
completely forgot all of that. My brain was broken.
Top.
Okay, I'm so sorry. That's completely on me, and I'm an idiot.
There's a
Right.
pair on
That's
you.
just silly.
So, excuse me.
You're excused.
Let me rewind. You're in Sreloras's mansion. and Loran appears with a cart, and it's laden with tiny Karul bodies. At which point, he starts pairing you off and giving you each a body. With Bluey and Neff getting one, Cass and Slia getting another, and and Ulster and Loran getting the third.
I hope if I become a parent, I hope this isn't what it's like. Just like cradling.
The children will be far more alive, hopefully. Loran says.
and not
less ugly.
Precisely.
Unless world-destroying ambition.
Well, we can't promise. We can't make promises we can't keep, can we? My pearl fell off. Oh,
No.
oh well.
Loran, your pearl.
Loran says, "No, my pearls! I had them pierced into my skin."
How did it fall out? I found this other side of the stud that's meant to be on the inside of your face.
It's just a hunk of flesh.
So, with your
Ulster licks his lips.
with your bodies in tow, excuse me, with the bodies in tow, you can make your way down. That whole scene plays
Don't
out
all
exactly
spill
how
over
it
the
played
bodies.
out. The whole scene plays out exactly how it played out. The bodies are wrapped in shrouds, so you don't have to see them. And as you know, Loran says, one of these is real. I'm not telling you which one.
One of these is not like the others.
Wonderful.
It's like a Monty Hall problem,
Right.
but with dead bodies and
Let's
less
hit
doors.
it and quit it.
Okay, just
That's
to
what
verify,
Said.
I
Real
object
quick.
to that phrasing.
Neff and Loran did acquire the tuning forks for the Feywild for Neff and Slia, just in case.
Oh, hang on a second.
I think also was lending his to one of you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Just Leah, I think.
yeah, hang on. Let me check my
Okay.
notes.
Neff is just like, don't trust me.
No, I think Brian would not have trusted Neff necessarily with a tuning fork. Given the option of the two.
Baby.
My brain completely forgot to write down the other half of this plot.
Brian's just
I
be like,
literally
I'm
have
taking a
check
risk
on
today.
bodies.
I'll give it to Neff. Let's just, I'm feeling
I
wild.
just feel spicy.
For sure. Okay. So, I will say, yeah. So, Loran will lend his to you, Slia, and Ulster can lend his to Neff, just in case.
Thanks, Brian. I will cherish this and treasure it with my life.
Better.
This is a family heirloom, Slia. Please, please, for the love of God, bring it back.
Mine isn't a family heirloom, but I will be very upset if you lose it.
Don't worry, I won't lose it.
Mhm.
Thank you for entrusting it. She looks like there's just a slight terror of Loran in that statement.
You.
Can I
Yeah,
listen
no,
to? Can I listen to the tuning fork? Does it go like? Whoop, 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 whoop?
The sound it makes.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
As you kind of listen in,
Hmm.
you kind of focus on it. Make me a perception check.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. Let me just pop up my perception. That is. Whew, really good rolls. That's a 21.
Okay, you raise it to your ear, and you just hear.
Oh my god.
What?
Do you hear it?
Yes. Oh my
Is this
god.
Ulster's tuning fork?
Yeah.
Oh,
Of course it sounds like that. Everything. Yeah.
The Fae are horrifying. Anyway.
Yeah.
So.
well, that was it.
I just wanted
That
to-
makes an interesting sound.
Enjoy.
Thanks.
Don't stare at it for too long.
I look at it.
It doesn't like to be looked at.
What happens if I look at it for too long?
Find out.
Oh.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Look at me. Keep looking at me.
Yes.
Keep looking at me.
Hi, Bluey.
Although now she starts to look at it, being like,
Emma's not okay.
No, it's just like, what happens if I look at it too long? Jern.
Yeah. And then accompanied with like the fuck around and find out.
That's the whole energy.
So yeah, there's a moment where you kind of look up, you kind of lift the Loran's tuning fork, and you just hear. Anyway, but that's all. It's just like a mounting terror. Anyway.
It would be funny if you lift Brian's fork and it's like it's just scary voices. And then Loran's fork is like
Loran definitely would have programmed his to rickroll if it ever had to. Okay, so everyone, as you first split into your groups, who's going first?
Find your exit buddy.
Bluey, shall we take the lead?
Keep all your limbs on your buddy.
Okay.
Alright, I'll jump in with Bluey.
Okay. Jumping in with Bluey. You hold hands.
We do.
Cradle the body between you.
Yes.
Alright, can both of you roll me a d20?
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
It's very high.
No.
I got a 5, just on the d20.
Okay.
Bluey has... Are you still there? Anna?
Anna's frozen.
Anna is frozen.
Anna looking a little bit more like, oh no. Right now.
Okay, well we'll go with
The terrible joke of
Oh,
she
Anna's
just
back!
leave the Messiah.
I think. Are you back? I can't tell.
Oh,
Well.
I was going to show you my pearls, but they fell off my ring. Anna, what did you roll?
She's not back.
8 on the dice.
Ping.
8.
Oh
Okay.
no.
8 or 18?
8.
8.
And Neff?
I rolled a 5.
Right.
But if you
Okay,
add those together, they're an okay roll.
I mean, the most
What if you guys
problematic
just
duo.
get stuck?
Shock horror.
That's how
has
that
not
works,
rolled the
right?
best.
Adding?
Something like that.
Uh-huh.
You just add it together. Can I roll with advantage because I'm a really cute
No.
little... I've got a cute outfit on.
Nah.
Me every day at life. I get advantage because I'm wearing a cute outfit, right? No.
Nah. Okay, so with a 5. Okay, and an 8. Okay, so as you fly towards the Fey realm through the teleportation circle, there is a moment where you feel cold hands reaching for you between the planes, as if something can sense your movements and is trying to grab you.
Can I slap him back? Get away.
Well, before that they, before
I
they
do
No.
not consent to this. Get away.
Before they can take
Non-consensual
hold of you, they pull
phantom
at your
touching.
clothing, they try and tug at the
Ah!
boot between
Let go! That's mine!
you. Feel your feet land on solid ground, and you see yourselves in the elven vale that is the Fey Wild. However, you do not come unaccompanied. Bluey, first of all, you see everything around you, and you're like, "Wow, this is great. We made it. Nothing happened." And then just hear, and you see behind you this is a tiny little metal Modron walking past.
Oh.
It's like Mike Wazowski, but very, very small and made of metal. It's just like.
Can I try to talk to it?
You could, if you weren't covered in ice. You cast Ice Storm on yourself by mistake, as you flew through and were trapped by the realm of water. So give me a Ice Storm. Let me just get the.
That is a very good
Are you
phrase
actually-
there,
oh, wait.
Thomas. I know. Like, have you
No,
actually
you,
frozen like that?
oh my god, Thomas.
Yeah, he's
wow.
breathing.
That was
That
really
was very impressive.
impressive.
Bluey.
That was hard. Might have to
and
strain my
Neville
eyes.
And the Modron, please make me a dexterity saving throw.
What's happening?
Thomas, you'd be very good if you're ever trying to get out of lectures. If you wanted to freeze.
Let's turn on camera.
19 and then
Am I rolling?
yeah, you got to roll a dexterity saving.
Dexterity.
Oh, dexterity saving throw. Sorry.
Yep.
That will be, in that case, it's a 10.
A 10. Uh-oh. Okay.
We're in trouble.
Oh my god, I love the Central Unions movies. I wonder why. Okay, it was 8, 2, 3, 6, 11, 12, 17. Okay, you, Neff,
Yes.
take
Oh.
25 points of damage, of which 17 is cold, and the rest is bludgeoning.
Okay. I was hoping for maybe like, oh, Neff, you take 25 flowers.
Slip through
With you.
as a hailstorm slips through the places between the planes and whacks you on your entrance. The Modron is like and just starts slowly freezing up as the little hailstones get jammed into it.
No! Can I protect him?
You're frozen, aren't you?
Am I frozen?
It's difficult terrain, so you're moving at half speed, but you're just about okay. So you have like it's like when you're like trying to move even though your fingers are really cold and like you can't feel your toes. Bluey, you take half that amount of damage, so you take 12 points of damage.
Okay.
All right.
How did this happen?
How did this happen?
It's just cold. Come here, little buddy. I'll warm you.
It starts walking away from you.
I have that effect on people.
You can tell it doesn't like the cold, it's trying to get away. And
Can I
you see there are a number of Fey individuals have stopped in their tracks around a poor soul who was caught in your 20-foot cylinder, and they're just trying to like slowly lead them away. Like, oh my god, what's wrong with these people?
What did I cast?
Ice Storm.
How did I cast that?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
you do. It's powerful.
I have that? Okay.
No,
Okay.
you don't have it.
Okay.
I'm so.
Fine,
What?
figure it.
Does Neff know that she didn't cast?
I think
Neff
that
thinks
this
that
might become obvious what is happening as,
Huh, okay.
as it goes.
Okay.
Okay, so next up, as the teleportation circle dissipates and dims, who's next to go through?
I volunteer.
Okay,
I volunteer as tribute. All right, Brian. See you on the other side.
Bye.
Loran and Ulster.
I've got friends on the
Other
outside.
side.
That was the
Loran and
Disney song, I
Ulster, you make your way onto the teleportation circle. All right. Would
Great.
you roll me a d20, please?
4.
Okay. 4 and...
The dead.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh god. Okay. Okay. A lot's going on. And 4. Okay. So, the two of you make your way through, gripping onto the body. Loran is making sure that you don't have it fully weighed down on you, Ulster, knowing that the body of Karul between you is probably taking a toll. Just knowing who it is, potentially. And as you feel yourselves moving between the planes, it becomes a lot more visceral than it was before. And again, you feel these tethers reaching out, trying to grab at you. And then there's a flash of red, and you're able to land safely in the Feywild. Ulster,
Yeah.
in this moment, you kind of look around and you're blinking, and you see that about 60 feet away from you, there's a manhole cover, which is just outlined in a bright red glow. And then about 20 feet, there is a 20 feet to your left, there is a particularly large tree trunk, which has a door-shaped glow in it as well. As all hidden traps and doors and other secret mechanisms within 60 feet of you are outlined in red.
Loran.
Well, as you look at Loran, let me just... Sorry. Oh no.
Oh no.
So you look at Loran, and he looks visibly very confused, and he's looking around like, oh, wait, this is all a bit odd. And then, from where his goatee is, he seems to have grown a beard made of feathers, which is very incredibly greasy. In fact, the grease is seeping from Loran and spreading around you as if he's accidentally cast grease on himself. Hang on a sec. I need to figure out what's happening here. Bluey and Neff, you see this too. This featherbeard Loran, covered in grease, looking perplexed. There's a 10-foot square of grease.
Future Archmage.
Yes, a 10-foot square of grease, which is just riddled with hail from what you don't know. There's a Modron in the corner going bleep bloop bleep bloop bloop. And Loran has a feather beard. I need to look up the effects of the confusion spell. When you roll,
How did he get hit with so many things?
when you roll a certain number on this table, you have to roll 2 more times, and then he rolled it again, so he had to roll 3. He got 3 in total. Confusion. Okay. This lasts a minute.
Oh god.
Okay, let me just roll what happens. Number 1. Loran just kind of like looks at you all, looks north, and is like, that's where I'll go, and just starts walking north.
I'm gonna just grab his shirt, like, no.
Okay, he starts dragging you along with him. I'm being compelled to do this.
Loran, I'm gonna try and tackle him.
Okay, roll me a dexterity check.
Okay. Dexterity, that is a 16.
16.
I'm scared.
Yeah, I think you're able to like pull back enough on him that he slows down. So that's a good thing. That's a start. Right. Moving quickly back to the material plane. Slya and Cass.
Here we go.
Okay. All right. As you go, you say goodbye to Saradaras, and Jaral and Valis, and the Ice Palace.
Okay.
Would you please each roll me a d20? Leave.
13.
13.
9.
9. Oh. Oh.
Oh no.
Okay. This is probably fine.
I think Neff got the worst one.
13.
Don't say that yet.
As you guys move through the planes, you feel heat scorch your skin as though you're going too close to a certain fiery elemental plane. And Cass, you feel your mind being pulled towards the labyrinthine pandemonium plane, but you are able to push through and land in the Feywild. And Cass, you are under the effects of confusion. As you land, you just freeze up, immobile, for approximately 6 seconds. Slya, give me a moment.
Oh no.
Oh no, no, no.
I'm gonna have to do some rolls here.
Fun.
Oh no.
Okay. So, 1, 2,
Meaning of this.
3. What is the meaning of this? I'll tell you when the game is over. So,
Didn't like
That sounded like a ladder die. Oh no.
Yeah.
Another one.
That's
Look at Emma's
just
curly whirlies.
concerning. I know.
What?
Nothing.
What did you say? Where are my dice? Oh, there they are. I need more. And you? 1, 2. Wait, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. There we go. Okay.
Oh no.
So, Slya, could you... Actually, you know what we'll do? I think this is enough that we'll work it out afterwards. 4, 6, 9, 12, 16, 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Roll a d8 for me, Slya. And if you roll an 8, roll it again.
Okay. I rolled a 1.
A 1. Cass, as you land, you think, huh, completely freeze up. And then you just sort of, as your 6 seconds passes, you're like, okay. And then you kind of just like glance upwards and you see these missiles just centering in on you originating from where Slya is standing. And you take... hang on, I can't count. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 15, 19 points of force damage. Everybody has made
do
it.
that to me, Slya.
Everybody has made it. And there is a Modron in the corner. Beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, beep, beep. Beep, boop,
What?
beep, boop.
Can I Arcana check that? All
Sure
this?
you can. Sure you can. Cass, you
Yes.
freeze up again. Whilst Loran... Excuse me. Loran also freezes up. So,
Saran.
Slya, what did you get on your check?
27.
27. This is a Modron.
No. On this whole situation.
Ah, I see. Yes. With a 27, this is far more of a Loran train of logic than a Slya one, but you kind of harness it knowing that Loran isn't here to help you at the moment, but is walking around as if possessed by some kind of confusion spell. But kind of like putting yourself like, what would Loran think in this situation? You sort of realize, this is probably some sort of wild magic surge, which is triggered by the fact that we were unsuccessful in our first teleportation round this way, which could have been a lot worse and might have even led to us being brought to the Shadowfell not of our own accord. Or could not have happened at all if maybe we'd rolled some natural 20s.
I mean, Slya does have expertise in Arcana.
There you go.
Which is why that it's such a ridiculous high number. Because
Sure.
it's a plus 12.
Oh, sure. Thinking more along the teleportation magic sort of logic. But sure, yeah, no, that's great. Then Slya, that's the the conclusion you come to.
He also looks over desperately at Slya.
Cass,
Some
you've
sort of
still
wild magic
frozen.
surge.
Loran
What
is
do we
also
do?
frozen.
Saran!
Frozen.
We all have the bodies.
Yeah,
Frozen.
but he's so sticky.
Frozen. Cass.
Freezier than usual.
Frozen.
That's not
I'm
very
rolling the
nice.
wrong dice. No wonder. Excuse me. Let me do that again.
I'm just gonna hold on to him.
Frozen for you, Cass. Frozen again. Both of you are still frozen in place.
How long does this last?
Aylin, could you redo your camera, please?
Loran suddenly goes feral and starts swiping all stare. You're the only person near him.
Loran!
Natural 1, he just starts flailing up at the sky like a cat, trying to like scratch at something.
I could dispel it, maybe, but
How long does it last?
I'm fine. Everything is
No, you're
fine.
not.
Loran
I'm
suddenly just says, I'm fine.
sus.
Cass, you're still frozen. Cass? Cass, you're fine.
Oh. Slia, how could you shoot those missiles at me?
I'm really sorry about that. It's a wild magic something or other that happened when we.
You know what? I am so generous that I will forgive you
Thank you.
if you give me a really good massage at some point.
Not my specialty, but I'll try.
Cass wants to. Oh, is it not? Then Cass is like,
Like
no,
massage?
okay.
Louis hears massage and goes, massage? Hmm?
No.
She did learn.
Oh no. Cass starts to. That's true, actually. Bluey, I'll forgive Celia if you give me a massage.
Amazing.
Also just looks around at the people around, like,
They're all looking on in horror.
We should
I
probably.
think we should find a bath. He detaches himself from Loran. He is gross at the moment.
Loran looks like
No,
genuinely
I
hurt.
think
But he walks
we
up to
should
Loran
go to
and hugs him.
Titan.
I will be gross with you.
Loran says, thank you. Oh, I really need to sneeze, actually. Achoo! And as he sneezes, the feathers just poof, and start floating all around, settling in the grease, and his regular goatee is back. It lasts until the wearer sneezes.
What about
Wow.
the grease?
The grease lasts a minute, and I'm gonna say with the confusion wearing off now, the grease also begins to fade into a regular grease and not a non-magical grease.
Huh? Yeah.
We can finish up in
How-
about 5-10 minutes.
Roughly how much longer?
5-10 minutes.
5 to 10 minutes? Okay.
Okay.
5,
No.
10 minutes.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. Sorry. Hang on. I'll mute.
Okay. Okay. So, as you guys settle down and calm settles over the Feywild, Loran says, I have a feeling there might have been a wild magic situation. Looks at Slayer. Did you get that vibe?
Yeah.
Fun. He looks at Ulster and takes your face in his hands and just says, I'm sorry these aren't bigger, but this is all I can do at the moment. I am sorry for swiping at you.
That's okay, you didn't hit me.
Okay, can I give you a kiss?
Yes, I'm sorry for calling you gross. I was referring to the grease and not you.
Okay, I believe you. Kiss. And then he gives you a kiss. Alright, so let's go find my mother, if she hasn't already figured out that we're coming.
It's probably gotten back to her.
I have a feeling. So you guys make your way towards the Sealy Court. You find that you've arrived in a sort of adjacent, sort of smaller area with a teleportation circle. The people around you seem to have just been milling about. The station that you usually come in through. Just been milling about, not as busy as usual, and you get the impression that perhaps, given the coup that happened but a few moments ago, well, weeks ago, you are not seeing too much traffic from the Feywild. You make your way through and towards the Sealy Court. There, things are much unchanged, though you notice there is a distinct absence of officials, or
I thought you were going to say
businessmen.
ventresses.
Ventresses. Certainly ventresses. Or anyone at all. The names have been removed from most of the office walls, and the only people in there waiting for you, as you kind of assumed they would be, are Zarina and Leander as well, who seems to have come by. And Zarina just beams and says, hello. It's been too long, even though it's been basically hours since I saw you last. I see you have many bodies. This is interesting. What is happening?
We got hit with wild magic coming in.
Ooh. Ouch. That'll happen.
I mean, that's not the reason for all the bodies.
No. Tell me more.
Just wondering if that was normal.
Well, you know. Touched by chaos once. Does it ever truly let you go?
I wanted to meet Titania. That's the only reason we're here.
Well,
That's it.
forward. That's it. And the
Just
body...
ignore the tiny cruel bodies. They're not a part of this.
Aha, I'm certain. Well, you're lucky. I need to let you know, this is not a common occurrence at all. I go and see
Unless
her...
we make it one.
No. Hey, all stare. She takes your face and pinches your little cheeks. No. I see her once a solstice. If that. Okay? She may rule over this plane, but she is usually the one who sets up the meetings and lets me do my own thing. Otherwise. Okay? Do not make this a common occurrence. I'm sure you can all handle yourselves well. You can behead a few more people, or, you know, burn them alive. Employ some of your more bizarre, fantastical friends to come up with a whole plethora of other death sentences for them.
We are the bizarre, fantastical friends.
Yeah, you are. Right. As usual, I will have to accompany you. But I don't resent don't resent that at all. Right then. If you'll follow me upstairs, and she turns around and starts heading back towards where you know her office is. Leander kind of like falls back on the steps and just looks at Loran and says, "You're a little bit greasy.
Can you rinse
There's a
me?
feather in your hair. Can I rinse him?" Yes, I can. And he just starts kind of just like slowly siphoning the grease away, pulling off the feathers. Where is Saraza?
Good question.
He's in. Busy? I was hoping to see him.
We all
Oh, well.
miss him.
I'm certain of that, at least. How have you been? You've earned a little rest after everything that happened. But you're not going to take it, are you? And yet. Nope, I expected nothing less.
We
Up
did
we
go
go.
to a spa not long ago.
That's nice.
Mm.
Have you ever been to the baths near our estate? On
Yes.
this plane? Those are quite something.
Yes, I was taught a wonderful song about Loran when I was there.
Oh, I'd love to hear it sometime.
I think as they go up, also just sings the song to Leander.
Leander just,
It's written by Lila.
yeah, I can imagine. Looks over at Loran, and Loran just looks at his feet like, I'm not ashamed, with all the body language of someone who is thoroughly ashamed.
I can tell you the additions that my second cousin made to it as well.
That's interesting. I would love to hear that.
She looks at Loran.
Not on business hours. I like to separate work and family matters. As you guys are led upstairs, you enter into Serena's bedroom. No? Serena's office.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, Cass is...
Lack of work-life separation.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
You say that Serena doesn't have a bedroom in her office.
Yeah. Gotta sleep somewhere. And
Also, remember how
Oh,
I
my
said
dad's
to
doing
you-
stretches outside. Can you see him?
Oh, hi!
I'm just gonna turn around and
Lie! Don't put your dad on blast. That's so
Oh,
cute.
it's fine. He's stretching. I'm saying it's cute.
Okay, it is cute. Hello, Dad. Right, so you guys go upstairs
Sorry.
to Serena's office, and also remember how I was saying that you could see hidden entrances in between.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, maybe you do see a hidden entrance in here or two.
Ooh, where did they go?
One of them, you know, goes down to the courtrooms. The other one goes to a very special place.
What's that?
Well, sometimes I have so much work to do, so I have to spend the night here.
Yes.
Oh Lord, it's a sex
Why is it
dungeon.
hidden?
Pinches your nose.
Around
Nothing you need to worry about. Loran throws up in the corner. So,
The turntables.
Serena sets about carving the runes whilst the rest of you watch on, and she kind of pulls back and says, "This'll do nicely. Right, who's ready to step into the veil with me?" Beautiful. Another one. So many volunteers.
Yes.
Now, as usual, please keep your hands and legs firmly by your sides as we pass through the entrance to Titania's plane. Now, I cannot assure your safety, but if you have common sense, then I'm sure you'll be fine. Neff, I will send a preemptive message to your family and your next of kin, just in case.
Thanks, that's really kind of
We
you.
have to stay forever.
I know, I'm nothing if not. Anybody
Slaya's
else like to do
Slaya's gonna hold on to Neff's hand.
Good
Well,
idea.
Well, Slea, your grip is really strong. Are you okay?
Yep, buddy system.
Okay.
Beautiful. Oh, I do recommend the buddy system. As always, there is a chance that we will emerge in the clouded mists, which can lead you to all sorts of illusory places. And
Would
don't
you like
eat
to climb
anything.
on my back?
Loran obliges. You crumple slightly.
Cass
but you
jumps
manage to keep
into
your feet.
bright Bluey's arms.
Beautiful. All right. And as always, do not eat anything, no matter how delicious it looks. Do not. Otherwise, leaving will be hard. Yes.
Does that mean we have to stay there forever?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Just curious.
Can I insight that?
Brian sounds a bit too eager.
Yeah, a little bit.
Where?
Laura just crushes him a bit more.
Then it's like, if you're eating it, I'm eating it.
I would never go anything back.
23.
He's kind of joking.
Kinda. Big emphasis on the kinda.
Serena,
You know that he would never ever leave Loran.
So Loran would be
raises
trapped there
her
too,
eyes
is what
and
we're
says-
saying.
No. Loran would have to go with him.
Serena raises her eyes and says, "If I ever wanted to stop one of you making a foolish decision, I'd invite you here and force feed you." Anyway, right then, in we go. Leander, look after the office for me, darling. Boo boo. Leander just grunts. Leander just like mumbles in response, nods and greets you all as you leave. And you guys pass through the veil, disappearing 2 by 2 into the Feywild. Now, I would go on longer, but if you have to leave, George, I know you really want to meet Titania.
I do. I think I'm going to have to. Hang on.
Okay.
Oh, not that. I need to mute.
People hear the train around outside.
Interim music. Yes. So I had this fun idea because I was like, it's very, very rare.
Okay, I reckon I'll have about 10 to 20 minutes.
Okay, cool.
left.
So let's carry on then. Okay, you guys enter into.
But not long.
You enter into.
It's long enough for Titania.
Hell yeah. The Fey realm. Passing through. Your eyes are clouded and your vision tinges a yellow-green as the air thickens and sweetens around you, and the ground turns from hardwood to mulch and moss beneath your feet. A soft
Good.
carpet.
Squish, squish.
Squish, squish. You feel Loran just stamp a little. Just like, yes.
Yes.
And when you push through, you are indeed met by a thick, silvery mist.
I thought you were gonna say a thick woman.
Oh, not yet.
Not yet.
Thick, silvery mist, which hangs over the entrance to Titania's realm. And you move through, and I want you guys to make me a Constitution check each as you push through.
Oh no.
13.
13. Cass?
Natural 1.
Natural. Okay.
Be fine.
Neff?
Also 13.
Okay. Slya?
8.
Ooh,
Oh.
Slya. And Bluey?
8 as well.
All who can be are poisoned.
Oh.
Not
As you
me.
inhale- Not you. I know there are some of you who are immune or resistant.
I'm
All who can
resistant.
be resistant. Then you get to roll again. Cass.
Ah, sick. Come on. That would be a 13.
13. All who can be are poisoned, I'm afraid. So, Cass, you're poisoned. Everyone except Ulster. Loran, natural 20. He's okay. So, you suddenly feel the sickness kind of like take hold, and you feel something almost like fungal like growing along the edges of your mouth where your saliva gathers, and then up the sides of your cheeks as mushrooms and flowers begin to bloom all the way down your neck, following your veins where your blood runs hottest.
I didn't learn how to do that.
Their roots and vines follow your nervous system, each pump of blood through your heart sending them further and further growing. You cannot quite see the extent of their reach due to the mists, but you feel them all over you. And you're thirsty as this feast of edible flowers and mushrooms grows on your skin. I would like you all to roll me wisdom saving throws.
Oh, yes,
Even
finally.
poison people?
My best save.
Only the poison people.
25.
25,
19.
19, Bluey,
14.
14, Slya.
23.
Okay, right. As you exit out of the mists, you can see the extent of this poisoning. The way it turned your skin a sickly shade. But the way it kind of looks beautiful, but especially to you all stare. The plethora of wildlife that grows on them, originating from their mouths, almost going into their mouths. And Bluey, you find yourself just like plucking a petal from one of the magnolias.
No.
And just slowly like,
Can I smack Bluey's hand?
yeah, sure.
No. Oh, bad.
You smack it away. And
We do not
Bluey.
practice self-cannibalism here.
Bluey, you're plucking a mushroom.
Can I keep hitting her?
Roll me, yeah. So to keep this, I want you to try and do a grapple as you attempt to restrain Bluey's arms. And I think Loran would assist you with this for advantage.
I mean, I'm
advantage.
poisoned, so I roll whatever I use at disadvantage,
Disadvantage,
right?
yes.
Okay.
I don't have any pluses to strength, so it's a 16.
Yep. Athletics, Bluey?
That's a 19.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So Bluey manages to shake off Loran and Ulster and just keeps this mushroom going
Serena.
closer and closer. Oh, don't worry. And Serena just kind of like wafts towards you. It's closer. It's almost touching your lips. And then she just pulls with her hands, and the flowers all begin to pull towards her and shrivel and die. And before it can touch your lips, Bluey, the mushroom, to ash. You're alright. And your mind clears. Poison removed. The rest of you are still poisoned. Not Bluey.
But you
Whoa.
look good.
Relatively cool.
Hmm.
Very fey. And
Anyway.
he says, anyway,
Who's
let's
gonna drink from the water skin? Just
yeah, of course. You are still very thirsty, though, you find. So, you guys continue moving onwards.
Cass is going to
As
be
you-
thirsty when she meets Titania.
Oh, damn. Allstair says in character. As you guys
Only
move
tea
through,
here.
the hedges, which are wild, begin to grow a little more manicured around you. Not like they've been cut back, but like they've been commanded to grow in a certain way and direction. As you begin to recognize the outskirts of Titania's court. And in front of you, you see the pathway open, rearranging itself into an archway to welcome you. Fairy rings lining where your feet pass over the earth. And you see the fountain, much like you saw it before. Crystalline, almost lilac-coloured water, shimmering in an obscure light. You're not sure quite where the source is. And exactly where you expect to see her, standing around 9 foot tall, you see Titania.
We're going to have lunch and then we're going to go.
Is it time to... Oop. So, as... Uh-oh.
Okay, I've got little time.
Everybody's
Okay, we will
Georgia's
have-
like, you gotta go! No, just have wait time. I've got a little bit of time.
You
Like 2
see
minutes.
Titania. Titania looks like she's falling out of the spring season and into summer in her garb. And she
Can I
looks
catch her
upon
as
you
she's
all you
falling?
enter. Ah, meh.
Cass fans herself.
She looks at you directly, Cass, and she says, "You've brought to me a new friend. Hello." And she smiles and leans down and says, "What is your name?"
Brian, what's my name?
All Sese is quiet. He's also in a similar state of, oh.
I think
Not
It's Cass.
Yeah,
It's Cass.
Cass.
I can withdraw it from you. And she just says, "May I?"
Cass is just like, of course.
Thank you. And she just cradles your head in her huge hands.
Is Titania just aware of how thirsty almost everyone in this group
I
is?
mean, she has to be. There's no false
like-
modesty here, honey.
No,
No.
false modesty.
And she
The
just-
one gay man is just like,
She rubs her thumbs over your temples, Cass, and tilts up your chin and just sort of like pulls on one of the roots. And you feel the leaves and the flowers and the thirst fall away, though
Most of
leaving
the
behind
thirst.
her most of the thirst.
Does it?
With it, you feel a warmth. And she says, "Acanthary Cass, thank you for coming to my domain. I see that you want to join me. I believe that your friends spoke of you briefly before. That your soul yearns to change."
Definitely.
I definitely want to join you.
I definitely want to join you.
You
Where's some
understand-
food, everybody?
You understand what joining me means.
Gets down on one knee, yes.
After death, your
Freya
soul...
who?
Oh no! After death, your soul remains here. It joins me and powers this place, only to manifest as I will it. Only to hurt and to heal.
Do
as
what
I
you want with
command.
me.
That sounds pretty great. This is a
Where do I
really
sign?
nice place. Yeah.
I can tell, though, that you have something holding you back. And she leans down, Cass, and she brushes the hair that kind of like flops over your forehead away, tilts up your head, and says, "Do not be afraid." And she leans forward and she kisses your forehead.
Cass dies.
As she pulls away, everyone, you see left behind is a sort of spiraling vine-like mark which forms a sunburst through its leaves and thorns. But it fades almost as quickly as it arrives there. And she frowns and she says, "Truly your soul is not free. Sever what binds you. And once you do, you will be mine."
Does that mean she has to break up with Freya?
She looks
Freya
at you
can come
instead.
join.
It means that entity which holds your soul and draws it down to the darkest depths of depravity.
So Freya.
Perhaps,
Lipstick
though
Cass.
I'm thinking more of an entity like a Lan.
Oh yes. My mind is
Sever your
elsewhere.
ties with that and then come to me.
I will. And thank you for letting me into your service.
You've trained well. Devoted time. I respect it. She releases you. And George, if you need to go, you may.
Yeah, I think I unfortunately do.
Okay.
Mulch that body for me.
Cass, as you step away, completely
Um,
stunned. As you like. It
Yeah.
was good. They were,
Sorry, guys. This was a really good sesh, and sorry that it was a bit chaotic for me. Mwah. Love you all.
Thank you for making it.
Bye-bye.
Boy, boy.
Thank you.
Boy, boy.
Bye, boy.
Bye.
Okay.
Okay. Cass steps away from Titania, completely stunned, unable to speak. And she pulls away. Titania pulls away and looks to the rest of you. That is one matter seen to, and the other. You've brought me 3 mirror corpses. 1, 2. And she looks at the one that you and Allster carry, that Loran and Allster carry. The one that Bluey and Neff hold. The one that Slia and Cass holds. She moves. Bluey, Neff, what have you brought with you?
It could be a real one or it could be a fake one.
Or so we've heard.
But Loran made more than one for in case we were intercepted, perhaps on the travel here. So
Understand.
we
I
don't
understand.
know. Well, I don't know which one.
Though I do believe you'll find that yours. She touches the forehead and you see the shroud, Coral's body, everything begin to turn into soft white snow and just melt into the ground.
Wow, that's cool.
Literally.
You're really cool.
She smiles at you, Neff.
Ha.
How far would you have to bend down to get to death?
She could pick her up in one hand.
Downward dog yoga pose all the way to get down to Neff.
Fine.
She moves then to Allster and Loran. And reaches out. Allster, may I? Touches the forehead. Snow begins to fall and crumble to the ground. Loran sighs a little. Relief.
Did he not know which one was real?
And then she walks to Slia. Put it down.
No hesitation, just instantly. Yeah, just places.
What is this? I need more information. Tell me, please.
It's Karul's body.
And what have you done to it?
Killed him.
Sweet one, I know. I can feel the death. But I also feel something screaming inside of him. And I would like to know what it is that you have done.
It's probably his soul.
I see. Turns to you, Slia. You did this.
Yes.
I'm not shaming you. I just want to understand. How?
I beseech the Triad to keep him from moving on.
Oh.
His soul would have moved into his son's vessel.
You see all of her vines and flowers thorn. Abhorrent, truly. You did right here. I do remember now that you serve one of the ethereal pantheon. If you ever change your mind.
Forget Ulster's cult. I want to join Titania's cult.
Her power groweth. She does have one. If you ever find it. The knife sounds like nice people. I would like to see. And she holds her hands. Your mind, please.
Who is she asking for?
Slia.
It's probably not like missed on anybody that Slaya looks just a little bit afraid. She's just nervous.
I think Ulster takes her hand and gives it a squeeze before she goes to Titania.
Titania nods in your direction, Ulster. And takes your head. Rubs her thumbs gently across your temples. Holds your chin. It's a warm touch. Motherly almost. And then you feel your brain just spike. Just a moment. As she peers in. Ah. I see. Your plans perplex me.
Oh, exciting.
Which ones?
The Shadowfell. You might have read that it is a rejection of all that makes the Feywild. Not far beyond it lies my sister's court. Do not venture there.
We won't be going there.
If you do, you're not welcome here.
Also, I was also going to ask, is your sister 9 foot tall? And he's just like...
She smiles at you, but it's a warning look. If you survive the trip, you're welcome back here, of course. But let me alleviate some worry for you. This looks down at Cruel. His soul has never left his body. It is not free to. It does not inhabit that plane.
Is he like conscious in there?
Yes.
This whole time?
Yes. Is that not what you want? I can make it so.
That's fine.
I kinda like it.
I didn't realize that was how it worked. Like he could still perceive things. I thought he just went deep into the recesses of his dark void.
Oh, no, he cannot perceive a thing.
Okay, good.
But he is aware of that.
So
He's
he's just
aware of the
there.
darkness. Yes.
Oh, that's fine.
Usually the soul transcends the body.
Mhm.
This is not possible
Good.
for him. Loran also says, yeah, I do not mind this at all.
But we did want to improve the situation where it was more difficult for someone to, say, take his body.
Mm-hmm.
It would be more difficult if he was mulch.
Like I did to...
That really cool thing where you crushed Cortan and he turned into... You know. Also got a bit too excited. He's like, that thing.
I do find that more enjoyable when they're living, but...
I could, like, prop him up for you. Wave his hand.
She looks around the group. What have you all to say to this? Bluey Sparks? I remember you.
Just checking. If the body's destroyed, will his... What will happen to his soul? Will it just sort of stay?
Well, it's not destroyed, it's mulch, right?
The soul will probably be torn with the body. As it is disseminated and mulched, the soul will become less and less until it is fragmented beyond understanding.
That sounds painful.
Is there
Possibly not physically.
a chance he could survive? As in, if his soul just, connected itself to just one tiny fragment of himself to avoid being destroyed completely.
If the being which commands its soul to remain with his body was cut off from this plane or destroyed, then the soul would probably move into the astral plane eventually.
Okay.
So unless the Triad has any plans to withdraw, this is his eternity.
That sounds good to me.
Could we put him with some, like, yucky smelling flowers for eternity?
I can put him with the satyrs.
Ooh. Yes.
They don't smell yucky, you understand. They just eat a lot of food and have a lot of compost.
Yes.
Full of worms.
Mm.
Usually worms can be quite pleasant and adorable, but these worms are large and they
Good.
feed on anything. Come with
They're just
me.
having a moment of like,
Come with me. And Titania stands. And bring that. And she begins to walk towards a large hedgerow, which also begins to unwind itself. And before you, you find what appears to be the entrance to, or at least an alcove that leads to, a Fey kingdom. Now, you know Fey kingdoms to be the sort of like realms in which various Fey creatures might live, various sort of like species of Fey. And this seems to be populated mostly with satyrs and other fawn-like creatures. And as you enter in, they kind of just like all nod their heads in deference to Titania, but they seem quite used to her presence and her moving amongst them. You see a table of a beautiful feast, all the dishes wreathed in flowers. And at first you think it looks delicious, but then upon closer inspection you get to realise that everything here is just raw meat. As it appears, these animals in particular are carnivores. Built up along the edges of the shrubbery, you see the shrubbery. You see a smaller sort of like localized section which is built into a clearing, fenced off, where you just see this writhing mass of bone and moss, which appears to be the compost pit. Titania looks at it and says, "Just lie his body there."
Guessing Bluey was carrying it as the strongest one.
As the strongest, Bluey, would you like to try and just lie it down?
Sure.
Bluey, you kind of move towards the compost area, and as you kind of like lean it down, you just get a waft of just awful putrid meat. And you see, slipping between some of this mulch, thick worms. 2, 3, 4 centimeters thick at some points. More snake-like than worm-like. You pull away.
Who's the real villain? Karul or us? Guess we'll never know.
I guess we'll never know. Boom. Is the #1 champion sound here as though we're about to get down. I like that. Anyway, there's a good TikTok song. Also know all the words to that rap.
It's impressive.
That was one of my favorite songs at the end of primary school.
Yeah, that and Dynamite.
Yeah, oh my god.
I like to move. I used to listen to that on my iPod Touch. Really putting ourselves in an age bracket with all these today, aren't we?
I mean, I was definitely aware of the song before, but I am more familiar, unfortunately, with the Chug Jug version.
I like that version more, actually. Now I've been tainted.
I don't know. The body is face down.
It's the Fortnite one, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's the Fortnite one, yeah.
Take kills on the board.
We just touched down.
It's like something Ender would sing, you know.
It does.
They think that I'm too wide and nerdy. Just too wide and nerdy.
A master of D&D. Remember when he was like, that's the Ender song? Oh,
It is still the end of the song. His personality hasn't changed.
I miss him.
Hey, friends. It's me, Ender Shun.
We'll bring him back one day.
Me, Ender Shun.
I have one arm.
I got one arm, and I don't know about you guys, but I think the DM's kind of forgotten how to do my voice. Because it's been that long. Oh no. Literally, I have a little bit.
No.
Oh. I'll get back there.
I would do the American accent.
It was my Terry Tempest Teen Tornado voice that I used for this. My name is Terry Tempest Teen Tornado, and I'm gonna save the world. Kind of. Think some kind of Spider-Man. Any iteration of
Some
Spider-Man.
kind of Spider-Man.
Right, so the body is placed down.
Yes.
Indeed.
Kurl's corpse.
Indeed. And Titania says, Ulster, before I do this, might I... She kneels in front of you. Ulster. I can feel your pain.
Ouch.
I can feel how this man has changed you, hurt you, broken you, and I can see how you've put yourself back together.
Mostly, some bits are in the wrong place.
What if I could change that for you?
In what way?
Those bits that are in the wrong place, you say? that is induced by your trauma.
What would that do to me?
I don't know. I can't tell you.
I don't know if I want to change too much. What if people don't? I mean, I've made all of my friends and met Loran with those pieces out of place. They don't seem to mind.
If that is your desire, I will leave you be.
I think also looks at Loran, because I think he would care more about Loran's opinion.
Loran just says, this is your choice. I love you, though. No matter what.
We all do. And if you need this to heal, we're still going to love you.
Maybe another time. But thank you. Don't want to change just yet.
Ulster.
More people need to get eaten after all, you know. I don't think a sane person would do that. And I have my uses.
Ulster. I think that happier things could change you yet. They might not take away this pain or lessen it, but I am sure that they will exist and help you and heal you nonetheless. The offer is always there.
Thank you.
It's alright. And she just brushes her
Can't
hand
wait for you to meet Show on.
over your hair. How long is it by now?
Oh, similar, but thicker than my hair.
Mm-hmm. Though this doesn't feel right. I think that you deserve a hair length which represents all that you have accomplished.
Oh my god.
And she just kind of like holds her hands at your temples, and you feel like a flower in bloom as she runs her hands through your hair. It falls and cascades in waves down to your waist. Soft
He
curls.
hasn't had long hair since he was Babu.
My old fan art is canon again.
Exactly. It's been too long, and you have been too harsh.
I think also looks like he's about to cry, but he's just like holds the hair and then.
I would give this to all of you if you were of this faith, this culture. But Ulster, this is yours.
Thank you doesn't cover it.
Then let me claim you as well. And she kisses you on the forehead.
Okay. Yeah.
You will always have a place in my court should you choose to take it.
He just bows
Right.
his head.
And she stands. To business. You don't have to watch. No, I suppose that's half of the fun. And she reaches forward and takes the shroud and pulls it back from Coral's bloated face. The top layer of skin comes with it, almost fused. One of his cheeks exposed, pink, red.
Oh man.
And she just rides her hand up and then clenches down so his nose buckles underneath her palm. Pushes at his temples until, like earth, It molds between her fingers, and the body begins to softly decompose into grass, mushroom, moss, and flower. And then those die too.
And let's hope nobody finds it.
It'll be eaten by worms and shat out again. And with that, friends...
Welcome to your eternity, Cruel.
That is where we'll wrap up for this evening.
Thank you, Emma.
Thank
I hope you enjoyed.
It was good.
He has hair again! Yay.
It's the hair he deserves. So, thank you everybody who watched. And we will leave it there for today. See you guys next week, same time, and tomorrow as well for Shiny Boys.
True.
Yeah.
Tomorrow!
It's mid-move from yesterday.
Wear these fits again.
Oh gosh. Tomorrow I will wear my little crown for Core.
Cute.
As he would. Even though he's not
excited.
the prince, he would.
Of course. Alright. Thanks guys, and see you next time. See you!
Hey!
BarinAde.
Hey!
There is a short-ish animation on YouTube called Dana and Darren, and it has very strong language.
You know,
and
skeleton
it's
rats, I don't
Is
even
it Australian?
They're red the
yeah,
parody.
it's
Thank you so
two
much.
people at a train station.
6 lovely people.
One of them just like
That's lovely.
gaslighting
How
the
did you
other.
come across my stream?
The other one's like, why do you always
We have
talk at me lighter?
We're fighting. It's
I mean, I'm
intense.
small enough, but the other
Gaslighting?
large.
No.
How was
Loran. Loran, why gaslighting?
Little emote with the hearts. That's
Also, I
so
stand by what I say. Loran would cheat at Monopoly.
Am I small enough?
I will tell you
for a new
why I was like
of currency.
like him. Just because
do
one
a
of like his
DD
reputation
every
kind of
other 2 weeks.
in the Feywild was that he was like a cheater and like dishonest and that kind of thing, and so he has a very strong reaction, very strong feelings against that kind of insinuation.
I
He
just
knows
want to
that Ulster
say,
doesn't mean it, so he's
let me
doing his best.
clear Ulster's, the sexual innuendo and everything. He was falling apart because he was only saying to Valis that he was happy to play board games with him, hide and seek, and it was just falling apart, and he was like,
That's totally
Cool.
fair.
So the
Flustering
Randall-
each other is what we do best here in this crew.
Indeed.
that is a child. We are not
No.
putting any innuendo on Ulster in
No.
inappropriate situations,
True.
no matter how spicy he is.
It was
No,
a
no, no.
poor word choice,
Yes.
but it's okay.
Mhm.
We got through it.